guys should hear us.
Nope, they don't.
No, you guys can totally hear. There's a delay, lols.
They can hear us. So.
No, they can hear us now. There's a delay.
Yeah, but the comments say.
There's a. Yeah, but no. That worked. I know it worked. No.
Someone say no sound. Someone say no sound in the comments, please.
Okay.
For me. Yay!
Okay, it says they still can't. No, see, I told you! In your face! In your face! Oh! Wait, what? No, they can hear now. Okay, some people can't hear, but that could be, like, a personal problem. Like, I don't discriminate against people with hearing issues.
I like the dark.
I like your hair.
My
My hair is crazy because I, like, was late, so I just took a shower, and then, I don't know, it's like a puffball now. Like a poodle.
They can hear. We cured them. We cured the illness.
Yeah. Double high five.
We cured the
Yeah.
We cured the deafness. I don't.
Sweet, bro. So, we just thought, since it's our 3-year anniversary, we uploaded our first video, which you and I weren't even in. Our first video was Danny and Jess reviewing Tusk.
I thought that movie was called A Wallace.
Nah, it's called Tusk.
It
should be called Tusk, a.k.a. Going Full Walrus, but it's not.
I'll call Watch the Walrus.
All right, let's see. Do you guys like this mic setting, or do you guys like this mic setting? Okay, mic setting 2, we're right now, or mic setting 1.
Oh, mic setting.
Pick one.
Mic setting 3, we don't do a slow motion. Mic setting 3.
Okay, so, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I was telling a story. Oh, I gotta get the little thingy out. So, Danny uploaded a review of Tusk.
What is the greatest movie?
And then he did, I think, a couple other videos, and then he was like, oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel, and then pretty soon, like, he's like, oh, you should be in it, and then you should be in it, too, and they were like, wait, what? And here we are, making videos. He just roped us right in, huh?
He forced us.
But now it's our birthday!
Oh, is it? Is it my birthday, though?
Oh, they liked mic setting 2. Okay, I'm going back to 2. Going back to 2. The Revenge of the Walrus Man. So,
How about 2, dude?
I haven't streamed for a while, so I feel kind of like a noob.
You're all a noob, Mom.
You're a noob.
You're a noob.
You're a noob.
You're a noob.
You know that hurts my feelings because I'm old, right?
Okay. Who's Mom of a noob?
You're supposed to make me feel young and hip.
Who's Mom of a noob? Tell me.
Fine, I'm more of a noob.
Well, let the comment decide.
It's fine, because I love you.
Let the comment decide, Mom.
Anyhow,
I know.
so hold on, I'm trying to get the pop-out chat out. So, there's a child here, so keep it reasonably clean.
No dabbing, though.
No dabbing? You love dabbing. That's like your favorite thing. You wake up, he wakes up like this. What?
No.
All right, okay, so I think we're all set up now. I'm putting this arm thing down. And you didn't get yourself a beverage, but I have some coffee.
The most fancy of dishes.
Hey, horror ghoul. I have, there's horror ghoul, horror gal.
Horror man.
Yeah, there's not. And PMR Bones is here, and Ariel, and the Reverend, and Horror Miser Monty J. So can you see what the chat is?
Yes.
So you have to learn all this, son, because one day, all of this will be yours.
What if I don't want it?
I don't know. It'll probably just die like YouTube channels do.
What if I don't want it, though?
It'll just die.
What do you guys think I should do? You want to die or just keep it?
No, we'll probably still be, like, talking about movies when we're old people. Tony is here in the house.
Tony is here.
So, this was kind of a last minute thing. I was like, hey, we should do something to celebrate our birthday, right? So we thought, oh, dude, did you just unplug your headphones? See, now that is a noob mistake. But it's cool because I love you. I love you, you little noob.
You're a noob.
Hey, and Sassy Southern Gamer Melissa, I just met that gal, not too long ago over on Channel Sundown. Really cool channel. And this is going to be a Q&A video, but I do want to address something really, really quick that's kind of going on in our YouTube family. YouTube, as you guys know, made a lot of changes. So now channels that have less than, I think, 4,000 hours of watch time and channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers are not able to monetize their channels, which really sucks. And it doesn't just suck because you're not making money. Because, I mean, honestly, I think when we were at that level, we were making a ton of money. It sucks because if YouTube isn't making money off of revenue on these channels, then they're probably not going to promote it as much. So, and it also just shows their priorities here. They are giving limited priority to these smaller channels. And I think that kind of sucks because it's supposed to be like YouTube. Like, you know, when YouTube started, it was awesome to watch because it was regular people just like you know, talking about stuff that you were interested in. And now it's all like Logan Pauls and stuff. No offense if you like Logan Paul. I'm just saying, like, people who have become big celebrities and they're no longer people that are just like you and I.
Actually, originally it wasn't his people at all, his videos.
This is true, like cat videos and stuff.
And He-Man.
Yeah.
He-Man video.
Yeah, remember that He-Man video? The stuff was great.
Yeah.
Hey, CP! Anyway, the reason I bring this up is a lot of people in the horror family have been affected by this. People that we want to support, like PMR Bones here in the chat. Anybody who's less than 1,000 subscribers, Horror Monty G, check him out. I have posted a lot of channels on Twitter, so check them out. I'm sure you're going to like a lot of them if you like us. We have friends with very similar senses of humor. I know weird one is Homicidal Homemaker. She's got enough subscribers, but she doesn't have enough watch time. So we're also sharing a playlist from a lot of these channels that we really would love you guys to check out and watch, so we can help these guys get to their goal because they have 30 days. So, all right, Shabil is over. The Shabil is over.
What happens in 30 days?
My hair is crazy.
What happens in 30 days?
In 30 days, they lose their monetization. It's sad. Okay, I don't want to talk about sad stuff anymore.
In 30 days.
But, I mean, just in case anyone's wondering, Horror Addicts isn't affected by this because, I don't know, probably because we're old. Horror Kids was, but that doesn't really bother me. My personal channel that has all of one video was, but I don't really care. And Danny's channel was, but those are pretty small channels, so we kind of figured. But Horror Addicts is fine, but we just want to help because Horror Family, I mean, it is a family. No matter if you have, you know, 1 million subscribers or you have 5, we're all the same in this family. And so we got to pull together and help each other out. And you know what? Not even everybody in Horror Family is horror, because we just that diverse. We diverse.
My uncle.
What?
My uncle who doesn't like horror movies.
Exactly. We like even non-horror fans. Sometimes.
But do they like us? That's this question.
You know what? It's okay. They don't have to like us. You know what? Because we're an acquired taste. We are like
French bread?
No, everybody loves French bread. It has to be something that's an acquired taste.
Wine?
Like licorice?
Wine.
No, people like wine.
Black
Licorice. We're like black licorice. Black licorice lives matter. Hopefully that wasn't racist. See, this is the problem with live streams. You can put your foot in your mouth. Anyway.
Just give me a hug, my fellow black licorice. No.
All right.
Why did I just do that? I don't even know.
Like unicorns. Rare, beautiful specimens. Unicorn labs.
It's kind of weird seeing our faces right here.
Anyway, we already got our first question. High five! Holla!
No, almost in.
Wait, can we not make this look bad? Because remember that time we missed? It was so embarrassing. Alright. So, the very first question, lols, is Bunnicula your favorite horror-themed kids show?
No.
Hit it.
That's the answer. No.
That's it?
Yes, it's not.
If you're gonna...
It's kind of obvious what my favorite show is.
Well, tell her. She doesn't know.
Scooby-Doo. All Scooby-Doo except for one.
CP, you are so lucky my son does not know what that word means. You don't know what it means, and it's fine. Auntie Creeps is another one I'd highly recommend you guys checking out. Big Ol' Geek. A lot of the people here in the chat, Reverend Hagen, Doc the Metal Freak, have really great channels. So, you know, if you like us, you like our sense of humor, you're going to probably like some of our buddies. Hey, kid. His favorite show, since he's being so tight-lipped about it is Scooby-Doo. He is a little Scooby-Doo obsessed, but he does like the Bunnicula show. He watches it on Boomerang, and he does like the Bunnicula books. I used to read those to him, right?
Yeah, I don't like one Scooby-Doo, so...
You might need to be closer to the mic, little man chop.
I mean, I like it, but it's not you. I like it, but that has a Scooby-Doo show, because it's like a different show entirely. I'm saying incorporates, has Scooby-Doo elements, but it's not really Scooby-Doo. I can't really explain it. Because Scooby-Doo has that 80s, you know.
Here, scoot in closer. Hopefully you guys can hear him with his mask. If not, he's got other masks.
I'm going to scale over it.
Do you want to get a mask that shows your mouth so you can... I think they can hear you, but just in case. That's why we subtitle him, because sometimes it's hard to hear him over the mask.
Anyways.
But if you guys saw his true face, you couldn't handle it. It's too cute. No, unmask. Don't unmask. You guys, your faces would melt from the cuteness like the guys at the end of Raiders.
I know do a reveal on my face.
Are you serious?
A chin reveal.
A chin reveal. So yeah, Laws loves all Scooby-Doo.
Except for one.
Except for he's not a big Mystery Incorporated fan, but I remember when I was pregnant, I like Scooby-Doo, and I got the second movie as a gift, and I was on bed rest, so I watched that a lot. Then I watched it when he was born, and he's been a fan ever since. He loves every show, basically, of Scooby-Doo, anything Scooby-Doo. Right now, he loves Be Cool Scooby-Doo, so we did one episode review, but I think we're going to do another one soon, right?
What do you guys think?
If you guys want to see more of those, let us know. All right, let's see if there's more... Did you hear that Jigsaw's going to be in Dead by Daylight? I did not hear that until my girl Melissa just told me. What?
Why did you spoil it?
No, I just got Dead by Daylight for a holiday. Christmas. That one in the winter. That one. I got it for that holiday. Okay. Here is a question. And you know what? Everybody in the chat answer. Who has seen or read the Goosebump books? It's actually kind of a father-son thing with Laws and Danny. Danny has been reading him the books since forever.
I don't know what.
It's still kind of blonde, Hargle. It's just it's dark in here. It just depends on the light. But yeah, you guys have read. He has all the books, and Danny reads them to him. They're still reading them. I've not ever read the Goosebump books because they kind of came out after my time. I did like the Fear Street books, though, which were more the teenager R.L. Stine thing back in the day.
So, you don't read anything that's not from your time.
I was also reading pretty big books at a young age. I read Cujo before I started school, even though I don't think I understood any of it. My mom, gave it to me to read. I was reading pretty big chapter books in, grade school. I remember I got detention for reading The Wolf's Hour by Robert McCammon, which was a pretty hefty book.
Why? What do you...
Because the teacher looked over my shoulder and there was a dirty bit in there and she didn't think it was appropriate. I remember in middle school I was reading Gerald's Game, so Goosebumps, it was a little after my time and I was reading more chaptery books, but I did like Babysitter's Club and Fear Street.
Okay, what was the bad image? I'm curious now.
You can't know about it. All right.
Okay, put me in these.
Yeah, Beth gets it. Beth gets me. What horror host do we watch? So that's from the Cult Dude. We like us some horror hosts. Are we talking about syndicated TV horror hosts or horror hosts on YouTube? Growing up, I would say the biggest one was there was Monster Vision. I used to, because I didn't have a lot of friends, I'd stay in on the weekends and I would watch Monster Vision, which started off with Penn and Teller, and then it became Joe Bob Briggs. So Joe Bob Briggs would be the big one. Also Elvira. Are you familiar with any horror hosts?
Not very many.
I guess your generation would be more familiar with YouTube horror hosts. I feel like our camera's all wonky.
Well, you make it even more wonky. How funny when you do this. Okay,
there, are you in it? Yeah, you're in it. Local TV or YouTube. And on YouTube, I really love Stitch Together Pics, but he hasn't made a video in forever. I love Dr. Wolfula. I love Brian Barnes. What? Who else do I like that's kind of a horror hosty, like not just a reviewer, but host stuff. Hostess. I don't know. There's lots of them. They're probably all in my featured channels.
Hey, Mom.
Yes.
Like, how many people are watching? How many people liked it?
All 18 people watching liked the stream.
Always good. I don't know yet. But
Can you guys understand Lol's okay? Joe Bob Briggs is awesome, and I actually met him too. I have his autograph up on the wall.
Wow, which one?
But he is a really nice guy, and yeah, he's cool.
Which row is it in?
Joe Bob Briggs is that one there. The black and white one.
Oh.
He was quite studly back in the day.
Definitely.
Oh, the Crypt Keeper. Yeah, I used to love Tales from the Crypt, too. Look, what is going on with my hair? Like, this is the problem with, like, streaming is you see yourself. Like, normally when I talk to people, I don't have to see how weird I look.
Mom.
Yeah, dude?
We are weird. Except
yeah, but I don't want to look weird. My hair is doing some crazy stuff. I don't even know, man. Anyway, let's not talk about my hair. Let's see. I feel like there was another question for you.
No.
PMR Brown says the same hockey mask you do.
Oh. Sorry to say you could have it.
Somebody asked you something.
I know that.
I also remember Gilbert Godfrey used to do USA Up All Night. I don't know if that counts, but they played a lot of horror movies.
Another teen review. That's me. I don't know.
All right.
Tell me
before I go to dinner, favorite horror video game for you and my son. What is your favorite horror video game? Favorite horror video game. I loved that Buffy Chaos Bleeds when they came out back in the day. I love all the Fatal Frame games. I think my favorite, though, of all time, and you guys are probably just going to think this is stupid, is probably Until Dawn. Just because it felt kind of like a movie, and I really enjoyed that. And, of course, I like the Resident Evils and all those, too. Last of Us. Huh?
I agree. I saw you and do with you, though.
What, my love?
I agree.
Until Dawn?
Yes.
Yeah, those are good. That was good. They should make some more like that. USA Up All Night. The gal who used to host that with him, she made the Abra. See, this is why I don't have childhood memories, is because I've dumped it all for useless trivia like that. Why do I know that?
Yeah,
I don't even own an Abra.
Same thing with me with homework.
I know, dude, right?
Like, I hate it. You don't remember every single part of most Scooby-Doo episode, right? You know what? Homework? You don't.
Hey, Lols, I have a question for you. Is my head normally this big, or does the camera, like, make your head look bigger?
I think the brain does.
Because my head looks huge!
Yeah, the brain's making it look huge
I have a massive head. Like, how do I hold that thing up?
Okay.
I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep in my giant pillow tonight.
Okay, Mom, I'm gonna explain it to you. Your head is a normal size, as you can probably see, but her brain is bigger. I think it's meow.
Alright.
Big.
What is my favorite horror icon? Oh, that's a hard one.
Big.
It's so tough because I like them all for different reasons. I love Leatherface. I love Jason. Probably Chucky, because Chucky's like a guy I would just like to hang out with. Let's see. Danny's coming home soon. Whoa.
Oh, there.
Oh, Lols, did you see the little birthday thing I added on there? Look at that, little South Park guy. I thought you'd like that.
I know, I can see right there on the other screen. Breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, whoa, dude.
Now we have 20 likes.
What's your favorite horror icon?
Jason.
Jason, he's your boy?
Hey, Mom, there's a glitch. Look
What
at the
glitch?
likes and look at the views.
What are you talking about?
Look at the glitch.
That's because some people might have gone away, or maybe they have extra accounts. You know what? Like, you let them be them, dude. You don't get up in their Kool-Aid. Okay, that's one of the important things about being on the internet, is you don't get up in other people's Kool-Aid. You stick to your own Kool-Aid.
What kind of Kool-Aid?
I think it's blue. I'm going to share this stream so people will know that we're streaming.
But we don't want to, they don't want to know.
They probably don't want to know, but guess what? It's happening. Okay, I can only share on Twitter. Alright, here, I'm going to type. join us live. It's our birthday. Okay, I'm not going to type all that.
Yeah, because that'd be stoops.
Anyway, if you guys want to invite anybody to our birthday party, go for it. You can have a +1, a +2.
A +5 million.
Go for it.
Do it, do it.
What is your favorite X-Files episode? The one with Bruce Campbell in it where he had the demon babies. That one. Don't leave me hanging, bro. Don't leave me hanging, bro. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah, Ash is a good one, too. Way to show us up, Danny. And if Buffy counts, then definitely Buffy. I don't know if Buffy counts. Hi, Zenkuku. I think I said that wrong.
Cuckoo?
Thank you.
Do you think cuckoo?
Michael Myers, like from Wayne's World, huh? Well, you know, teach their own. I'm kidding.
No, I just want...
Are you hugging me?
Why?
No, I will not make out with you. Get off. Am I embarrassing you?
No. I was just exactly to say, but...
I like X-Files. I haven't watched X-Files in a long time. Thank you. Someone said happy birthday to us.
I like the confetti.
Oh, he loves confetti.
Confetti.
See, like there's this thing going on back here.
Yeah, but you know what we should do one day? We should punish the person who forgot to get out of Christmas person. The video's up on doing Wheel of Pain soon.
Oh, yeah. So I spun the Wheel of Pain recently, which we have a Wheel of Pain of just terrible movies according to like IMDb and just what you guys have said to us on Twitter. By the way, follow us on Twitter because I'm on Twitter a lot. And I just need more people to talk about horror movies with. But, yeah, we made this Wheel of Pain, which is just some of the worst movies according to you guys. And whenever we do something bad, like I didn't finish October in time, we have to spin the Wheel of Pain. So I have to review Plan 9, and then Dan didn't finish the Krampus Intervention in time. And then so he has... Should he spin it live? Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, get up. Be prepared, Mom. Be prepared. Be prepared.
Okay, I am prepared. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze. What horror-themed show do you watch on Hulu? I don't have Hulu, because I'm poor. I watched Black Mirror on Netflix. That's kind of horror. I watched Supernatural on the DVD.
Supernatural.
What is our favorite kind of cake? All the cake.
This is a very hard question. Who asked this very complicated
Chocolate
question?
cake is good.
Who asked the question?
Beth asked. She's in our horror family on Patreon. Horror Addicts Anonymous.
You're good at asking questions.
My friend made me a Jason cake once, and it had, like, red blood filling. Ooh, our wedding cake was good. Our wedding cake had little zombie cake toppers, and it had, like, candy glass in it, and then it was, like, blood splattered, and then it was red velvet inside. That was cool.
Chocolate cake.
Yeah, Supernatural for the win. Crazy Ralph gets it. He just gets it.
Crazy.
Like, you meet Crazy Ralph. You meet Crazy Ralph, and you just go, you know what? Here's a guy who gets it.
Crazy Ralph the 13th, I have one question for you. Why are you crazy? Why are you crazy, Crazy Ralph? This is a very important question that everyone's trying to ask.
Because he's doomed. That's probably why. Alrighty. So, questions. I don't know. We gotta at least keep... You just lost 2 viewers, dude. I'm blaming you.
I didn't know he was blocky.
Alrighty. What else is going out? So last night I just watched a new movie. I watched Open House on Netflix. It's a new horror movie.
Don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it.
That's the whole entire plot.
No. So that came out on Netflix last night, and I'm not going to tell you guys how it ends, but that was pretty disappointing. It had that kid Dylan Minnette in it, who was in Let Me In, he was in 13 Reasons Why, he was in Goosebumps, he was in Don't Breathe. But let's just say it's a lot of build-up and no payoff. So I wouldn't recommend that, but you know, if you're going to watch it, you're going to watch it.
Hey, Mom, see how we can...
Thank you, Josh.
Hey, Mom.
What does my mug say? It says, coffee, scream, and sugar.
Hey, Mom.
It's huge.
Hey, Mom, since you talk about Don't Breathe, I know what you do.
What?
You see, you can hold the book on for the longest.
Yeah, you keep holding your breath. What's your favorite vampire movie? Off the top of my head...
Buffy.
Well, not the movie necessarily. Okay, I can give you like a top 5. I think that's the best I can do. Okay, I'm going to say Near Dark, Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire, and What We Do in the Shadows. I'll give you a top 4. I got this mug at the dollar store.
I'm so proud for being so cheap, Mom.
I am cheap.
I am proud of you. I am so proud. I'm just crying.
Lols. Ariel would like to know, is Gremlins 2 the New Batch the most underrated horror sequel? I think you would probably say Scooby-Doo 2, because nobody likes it, but we like it.
Yeah. And I feel like Gremlins 2 is okay, in my opinion. And I think it should be a burn at the stake. Like some people.
Don't watch the movie Mother. I said Near Dark, dude. Oh, Fright Night. There's my top 5 right there. So Fright Night, Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire.
And number 1.
What We Do in the Shadows, and Near Dark. There. That's my 5. It's like a 5-way tie. Fright Night, Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire, Near Dark, What We Do in the Shadows.
Hey guys, let me tell you guys a fun fact.
Oh, Mother as in Mother exclamation point. Yeah, I saw Mother. Danny and I did not like Mother. I feel like, and I can see why people do like it, because it is filmed well, it is acted well. The whole thing's a biblical parable, or, parable about fame. But I feel like it's one of those movies that's more message over story. Like a really good movie that's a parable or a metaphor, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show.
Wait, what?
A really good one. You can enjoy it without getting the metaphor. Like, the metaphor of the Buffy the Vampire show was that high school can be hell sometimes. But you know what? You can just enjoy it as a girl who kills vampires.
Hey, Mom?
The metaphor of Mother is, it's got Adam and Eve and, how people, okay, it's pretty complicated, but it's all very biblical. But you can't take that out of it and still enjoy or even really understand the movie.
I have a question.
Yes, my child.
I have a very good question.
What?
What would you do? Never mind, I forgot. Curse your mom, you made me wait too long. Wait. In the comment section.
Yeah, the acting is strong in it, and it does have some pretty intense scenes, but it comes down to, and I'm oversimplifying this greatly, it comes down to being a, treat the earth right message. How people have, basically killed the earth. Because Jennifer Lawrence plays Mother Nature. She's been all destroyedified by the peoples. And how God loves the peoples more than he loves the earth. That's it in a nutshell. Yeah, the baby, am I right?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Plot Potter in a nutshell. So. What would you do?
You know what that means.
What is it? You see what you did to my eyeballs? You messed them up. You're good, yeah.
You going crazy, Laws. There you go. There you go, man. You've got the giggles.
You're my greatest friend.
Alright, do you have anything you want to talk to them about or ask? I've been kind of doing all the talking.
What if you did more talking and I did more talking? What's next we should do for this video? Is that a good plan?
Sure, dude.
Yeah. This is a perfect plan, right?
The worst vampire movie. Oh boy. God, there are so many. Worst vampire movie. I'm trying to think of one that's just come. You haven't seen that many vampire movies. Oh, I know what you would pick though. No, you like Music of the Vampire.
No, that is the worst.
All right, well there you go.
Why am I doing this?
I don't know, Hayden.
What do we do anything, Drive?
All right. Where's my list of vampire movies?
What do you mean? There is no one. It's only this.
Twilight? Twilight's a pretty good contender. Can you stop tickling me? You're driving me crazy.
Well, I was taking, I was taking.
All right, dude. Settle down.
I was taking your kneecap.
Oh, I think I know the worst one. Okay, the worst one. Fright Night Part 2, The New Blood. I am not. This is a sequel to the remake, and it's complete garbage. There you go.
I need to go through the.
I like Twilight. All right, have fun. All right. So you go, and then you close the door behind you, and you knock, and let me know you're coming back. All right, it's just us grown-ups now. I like Twilight. My friends and I, because I live in Washington, we live near Forks. Well, we don't live near Forks. We're like 7 hours away, but I mean, we live closer than people from other countries that come here to go see Forks. It's driving distance. So we went up to Forks, and it is so bizarre because it is a town that is completely changed by fiction. I've never seen anything like it. Just walking down the street, you see people who are Edward impersonators or Bella. If you go to any restaurant, there's going to be like the Bella burger, or I remember I saw in one place they were selling Bella first aid kits. There's Twilight merch in every single store. There are whole stores that are just dedicated to Twilight merch. There are Twilight tours. We stayed in Port Angeles, which is actually a good maybe hour and a half away. And we got the Twilight package at the bed and breakfast. I didn't talk about anything adulty. I was going to, but I didn't. So sorry, guys. Bye, dude. Alright, now that he's gone. What? Bella burger. Shh. Alrighty. What did I miss? Dracula versus Frankenstein. I know there's probably other really terrible vampire movies. Off the top of my head, that's what's coming to mind. I tend to really enjoy vampire movies, so it's hard to upset me. But it's happened before. I should share this stream on Facebook, but whatever. Okay, he's back. He's back. Come in, my child. Balls? Dude, you coming or not? Come on. It's freaking me out. So what have you guys been watching? What have you guys been seeing at the theater? Did anyone see Insidious, and was that any good? I am curious. I have not been a big fan, to be honest, of the Insidious movies. I thought the first one was okay. I didn't like the second one, and I did like the third one. I thought the third one was actually the best so far. So I'm curious, how did the fourth one fare for those of you who are fans of the series? It was okay. So, Doc the Metal Freak just, made a UPS man joke, but, okay, good, the kid's still gone. So here's a grown-up story for you. Back in the day when I was in college, for winter breaks, I would work as a driver helper for UPS. Like, I had the uniform, the whole 9 yards. I deliver packages, that's what I did, while the driver mostly just drove around, so, he wouldn't have to keep getting out of the car. Well, we get to this one place, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and I have to deliver these, this whole dolly full of boxes to this, small office, in a big collection of offices. Anyhow, so I go up there, it's got like a keypad door, I knock, I ring the buzzer thing, and the guy kind of peeks out of this like little crack opening, and he looks me up and down, he's like, do you have like a driver or somebody, like somebody else should be here for this? I was like, no dude, this is my job, and I thought it was like something about my age or something, because I was pretty young at the time, so I was a little offended, but he's like, no, you need to go get your driver. I was like, whatever. So I went and got my driver. He delivers the packages, he comes back, and he is bright red. And he says, oh my God, I am so sorry. I completely forgot that that's where they film pornographic movies. So I was this close to walking into a room and saying, where's your package? Right here. So that could have been a thing. Sarah, there you go. There's an adult story for you. A true adult story. We also used to play this game when I worked for UPS on like the most ridiculous name of the day. And there's some pretty crazy ones. Like I remember there was a girl named Frostina once, but I think the best one of all time was a guy whose name was actually, and I kid you not, his name was Denton Hyman. Denton Hyman. You just think that one over. Hi, my child. Are you back? You gotta close the door. I don't want people to have laundry on the floor. What, my love?
Who's Denton Hyman?
Denton Hyman is the name of a man who lives in our local area. He is a fellow citizen of our fair city.
Are you there?
I'm positive. I used to work for UPS. Well, he might not live here anymore. I don't know. So, there we go. Come here, my child. What are you doing? That's private.
This is mine.
Oh. You take it then.
I know.
So, your dad's going to be here soon, and he's probably going to take your spot. Scoot in.
So continue. What were you guys talking about?
So, here's something I want to show you guys, just because. My mother is always getting me strange little things that she thinks I might like because we like horror movies. Check these out. These are pencils. Look at that. There's the Bride of Frankenstein one. And there's little Frankenstein's monster. I don't know. I haven't used these, but I think they're cool.
You haven't used them?
No, I don't want to wear them down because I like the look of them. Werewolf guys in thongs with weed whackers. Is that a thing?
What Dan said?
Dan said vampire chicks with chainsaws. No, that's a zombie one. And you know what I noticed? It's one thing Dan and I are going to talk about in our next stream, but there haven't been a lot of vampire movies in this last year either. I think I saw one, Aaron's Blood. But there wasn't a lot of vampire movies this last year, so I hope we get some more of those soon, because it seems like Twilight kind of made everyone sick of vampires, and now we're not getting any vampire movies.
I have a question, though.
No, they are not erasers. What, my love?
I have one very important question. What if we do more whip-off films with Sadie and Jason?
What, sweetheart?
I want to do more whip-off films, so...
More ripper film?
Whip-off, you know.
Rip-off films. You know, I think we should.
Canadian.
When will we see the Mummy again? So my mother was here for Christmas, but we didn't have time to film a video. But I've told her, because my mother actually lives about 3 hours away. I've told her that I want us, like how Laws and I have been doing Invisible Man, I want my mother, my mummy, and I to review all the old school Mummy movies, the Brendan Fraser ones, and that crappy new Tom Cruise one. So I think that would be really fun. And of course, it's always great to have her on a stream.
My sister actually liked it.
What, my love?
What would we do if she liked the new one?
That's fine. She can like whatever she likes. She likes Tom Cruise. Some people just like to see that man run.
What if he doesn't run for an amount of time, maybe he'll die. You know?
I got problems, Laws. I got big problems.
I know.
Oh, is your dad home?
Oh, is he?
Twilight wasn't that bad. The movie was pretty bad, but I like the book. I feel like the movie wasn't that great. I feel like the director did not do a very good job. But I feel like the second movie and the third and fourth were all right. I mean, they're not great, but they're good.
What do you want me to see them so bad then?
Maybe you got to be a girl. I don't know. The books are really entertaining.
That's a big sexist, Mom. You're sexist now.
I mean, they must be if so many people have read them. And I think that's cool that they got lots of people to read. And then their rip-off series, the 50 Shades of Grey, that was originally Twilight fan fiction. That's done pretty well. So it must be a story that people like. Uh-oh.
Wait, read that one.
What?
This one is funny.
You can! There is tons of Twilight tours in Washington. So, yeah, absolutely. Come visit me.
Yeah.
If you guys actually want to visit me, I don't know, like if you actually want to. If you want to hang out, we can hang out at Cryptic-con Seattle, May 4th through 6th. Danny and I will be there, and our friends, the Horror Guru and Kent Jacula, are coming up, and we're going to do some panels. And we're putting together a horror 2 workshop of, you know, knowledges that we can possibly share. So, yeah, if you guys are in the area, come May, which is also very close to my birthday, so...
You know about a scary movie?
What, my love?
This one.
Scarier than Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. The My Little Pony movie. You love that movie.
No, I don't. I haven't seen it.
You have too seen it. Are you embarrassed?
No.
Okay, little known fact.
No.
Lols and Danny are more obsessed with My Little Ponies than I am.
No.
Okay,
No.
I will explain why,
No.
though. I will explain why.
No.
One, it's a well-made show, and it has really good humor in it. Also, Danny used to work at a gas station, and towards the end of working there, he had a gun pulled on him, which was a really scary, scary experience. And, you know, of course, he had some PTSD issues after that. But what helped him get through that was watching My Little Ponies, because it's just, there's nothing, it's a completely guileless show. There's nothing dark or bad or, you know, there's nothing remotely scary about the show. It's just about friendship and happiness, and it helped him get through that. So, hey, if that can help my husband, I am all for My Little Ponies. I wouldn't say either of the guys are bronies. I mean, I like the show, too. But, yeah. You guys love your ponies. And we saw the My Little Pony movie, and it was pretty good.
Do not mention that again, though. Don't ever mention that again. I gotta do something. This is so kind about me.
I'll unmask you.
No.
Should I unmask Lols?
Yes.
Do you want to have an unmasking?
No.
It's our birthday. I mean, what better day to...
Okay, Mom. I don't get prepared.
Okay. Your dad's going to be home soon. He's going to take your...
Oh, say my spot, Mom. I'm gonna put my headphones here.
If I was chased by any Universal monster, what would I do? Ask them for their autograph, of course. Brocky, chill. All right, Brocky, come here. It's our birthday. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Here is Brocky. Do you have any questions for the chat, Brocky? Gory, is Nightmare Night a type of MLP holiday? Yes, I think so. I kind of remember that being a thing. It's kind of like their Halloween. Sorry, I'm the bearded slasher. That sounds awesome. I'm reading your guys' comments. Also, my dog is really, really cute. Like, if you guys wonder why sometimes videos are late, this is why. Look at that face. Look at that face. I know. He is the sweetest dog ever, and he's always around. Like, if you're watching a video, what you can't see is underneath my chair is Brocky. He is always with me. Is that Lols? I don't know. Oh, he's so cute. Are you okay? He's a good boy. He was barking though, so I thought Danny was home, but maybe he's not. I don't know. Do I like the X-Files? Yes.
Okay, I'm ready for unmasking.
Okay, you ready? Ta-da! Fabulous. All right, you gonna close the door and sit down, or are you done?
guys see? I took off a mask, so you guys wanted so.
Good job, buddy.
Are they happy? I'm quite happy. Oh, you see?
Oh, hey, I remember Jason Hamilton.
I came back.
Sit down, my child. Would you like some headphones?
Yeah. I
I don't know why we have headphones on, because we can't, there's nothing to hear.
Maybe we should put on some 80s music.
I guess we don't need headphones on, because we're not talking to anybody.
Good as headphones.
Yeah, I guess we don't need them. We could listen to some music. Uh-oh. Yeah, now my hair is way crazy because I was wearing headphones. You know what? I'm just going to leave them on, like a headband. Like, kind of a headband.
You know,
Alright, I'm going to ask you some lolsy questions. What did Beth say? I missed something.
I know.
Oh, good one, Lols.
She said something.
What, my love?
Hi.
Lolsy. Who is your favorite YouTuber?
Oh.
Who's your favorite YouTuber? No, you don't have to say our channel. You can say whoever you want. Is it? You watch a lot of Nostalgia Critic. What YouTubers do you like?
My favorite's vegetarian.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
I don't want to.
Okay, you like that show? You like Nostalgia Critic?
That's my favorite. Vegetarian.
What is your favorite horror movie?
Friday the 13th too.
Why Friday the 13th Part 2?
I don't know.
He's seen parts 1 through 4, I think. Lousy, will you hand me that striped container?
What's the one?
It's there behind baby,
Is that the one is that the one for you use for alcohol purposes?
No. Yeah, that.
But this is what I was talking about.
Hand it over. No, these aren't for alcohols. They're for grown-up juice. There's stuff in it, too.
Isn't it alcohol?
What does Laws like to do in his spare time?
Sleep.
Sleep. Laws likes to... He's been working on reading this video game book, and he's been drawing lots of things from it.
And sleeping.
And he likes to sleep.
That's my favorite thing to do.
He likes to sled. He likes the snow.
And sleep.
He likes to watch some YouTube. Hey, Fuego is here!
Ready? Start to meet you here.
Fuego! Jaime and Fuego! That means Jaime on fire!
If Danny's here in the chat, say hi.
Is Danny here?
I don't know. Say hi if you're in the chat.
You want to go see if Danny's here? Hey, Al's here! Hey, Al!
No, I'm
Thank
just
you.
kidding.
Alright.
I was just kidding.
Thank you!
Why that scared me so much?
Happy birthday to you and you.
Scooby-Doo cupcakes.
These cupcakes have Scooby-Doo. They look really sweet. And they might be fattening too.
Oh yeah, they are.
That's also considered okay.
Oh look, I got a ring.
Mm-hmm. Scooby-Doo ring.
That's
Last thing
awesome.
you see is the ring.
Before you die, you see the ring. Alright, cough it up. Go on.
And for the adults, a little shampoo.
Holla! Alright,
wine.
honey. You gotta help me out here. The kid who...
Did you out us on ponies?
What are you talking about?
You out us on ponies.
Yeah, I did.
Hilarious.
My hair is crazy.
Mine is too. I just got off work, so. It's probably-
Yeah, but you always looked good. You like wake up and you look good. Like if you guys have seen How to Meet Your Mother, you know how he can't take a bad picture. That's like Danny. Danny always looks great. I should just get like a bandana.
Wearing my Gizmo shirt because this is the first shirt I ever wore on our first video.
Oh wow, I don't remember what I wore. Oh, I think I wore a Princess Peach one or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's the thing. I'm just gonna make up something. Anyway, you need to catch up, dude. Guys, ask Danny some questions. Oh, show them our glasses.
Oh yeah, awesome. From Brit, she made us Krampus glasses.
It's weird because I'm used to doing these streams with guests. So like I put the headphones on and then I realized I didn't even need them.
Oh.
It just seems so quiet.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet because you can't hear their thoughts. You can read them though.
Yeah, I feel like it's muted or something. But I guess it's not. I don't know. Is this hair thing working better?
Sup?
You're just like, no.
I watch tons of cartoons, but I am not a brony. It's because I like a cartoon. I like Star Trek, but I'm not a Trekkie. You have to be like a fanboy to like it that much. But I watch a lot of Lawless cartoons. And
He got me a whole collection of ponies from McDonald's, and they're awesome.
Because you asked me to.
Yeah, so we can play ponies together.
And I never once played
So
ponies
guys,
with
check
you.
out these, you've played ponies with me twice.
Twice. I don't remember that.
You've played ponies with me twice.
Nah.
Oh, what are we drinking?
Wine?
I've got 3 beverages. I have coffee, wine, and then this. I've got 4 because I don't have Fireball. Oh, you got up early today, dude.
Yeah, I know. I had the opportunity to either go to Trey's or come to work.
Cheers.
No, I got a birthday party to crash, I said. It's kind of true.
Isn't it seem weird that it's really quiet? I'm glad Fuego is here.
Cheers, Fuego.
I remember the first thing I ever really, like, the first full sentence I ever really learned how to say in Spanish, aside from the basics, was, Mis pantalones is en fuego. And if you watch Buffy, the musical, with Spanish dubbing, they say fuego a lot.
Cool. The Bearded Slasher wants to know, if Bill Skarsgård would not have got the role of Pennywise, who would we have wanted? John Lithgow. That is creepy. I could imagine him with, like, clown makeup. Ugh.
Well, okay, here's my rationale. Tim Curry did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Curry also is famous for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm-hmm.
In Britain, the person most famous for portraying the role of Frankenfurter is Anthony Stewart Head, who played Giles on Buffy. So I would say Anthony Stewart Head, who's also famous for Repo, the Genetic Opera.
We both went with some older choices than what Skarsgård is. But oh well.
Oh
I
my
think
god,
Skarsgård
this
did a
is
good job.
pure sugar.
Huh, it's birthday. You got a ring, too.
This is going to make our poop blue. Yeah, once more with feeling. Here's a question for all of you. What is your favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I have a lot of them.
I don't know. Maybe it is Once More with Feeling, or maybe it's, what's Hush? The quiet one?
Hush is good. I like The Body a lot, but it's not one that's like a feel-good episode. It's just very well made.
Buffy Dead Mama.
I love Becoming Part 2. I think the funniest episode is Tabula Rasa. That's one where they all forget who they are.
Oh.
Remember?
I also like the Halloween one where all their, like, costumes come to life.
Ah, yeah.
And Xander's, like, an actual army guy. Kind of sticks with him for a little while.
You know, they were going to do another Buffy movie a while ago. And the cast completely went on social media and expressed their opinions about it. And they've talked about doing just another Slayer show, which I think I'd have a problem with that, because in the canon right now, there's Slayers all over the world. I don't want anyone else playing Buffy, though. And I don't want another Buffy the Vampire Slayer show or Slayer show that doesn't have Joss Whedon involved. Because, I mean, he's still here. He's still working. It just seems strange.
What I would like Whedon to do is, what's her name? The future one. Future Slayer?
Yes! Frey.
Frey. Yeah, I want Frey's movie. It's almost like, it's kind of very Hellboy-ish, because there's a lot of demons that are just out in the open in the future, and...
I love the Zeppo, too. That's such a great one. I love Buffy so much, it's really hard to pick just one, but it would have to be like a top 10.
If she was gonna, like, cross over with DC, I think her and Hellboy would have a good crossover. Similar type universes.
Yeah, the gentlemen were in Hush.
And we met, what's his name? He was one of them.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Nicholas freaking Brendan, y'all.
No, not him. The guy that was a gentleman and a bunch of other creatures.
Oh,
Camden Toy?
yeah, Camden Toy.
Camden Toy, yeah. That's not Nicholas Brendan. Or did we meet his brother and we never found out? Whoa. That'd be hilarious. If it's like he got his brother worked by like just sending him in as him and knowing
His twin brother Kelly was in a couple of episodes. Particularly one where Xander was like kind of there's two Xanders, but he didn't play the other Xander, he just did parts.
Yeah. But he's filled in for him a little bit.
A little bit.
For those that didn't know, Xander has a twin brother in real life.
Kelly. Ryan O'Toole's here. Hey man, I just met Ryan the other day on Twitter. Guys, check out Ryan's channel. He's good people.
Ariel says her favorite episode is the Halloween one as well.
It's a good one. I
Giles
also,
Benson.
one that I remember initially when I first saw it, I wasn't keen on it, was Prophecy Girl, which is the season 1 finale. When I first saw it, when she's like, oh, look, a vampire. And then there's the cheesy monster at the end that looks like something out of The Gate. But, God, that one has really grown on me over the years. If I had to, who would you pick to play another Buffy? I wouldn't. I just wouldn't.
Megan Fox.
Christy Swanson's great. Sarah Michelle Gellar is great.
Megan Fox.
No.
Isn't that who they actually had in mind?
You're fired. You're fired from Florida.
No, but isn't that who they had in mind?
Yes, and no,
It would
not
have been
happening.
horrible.
I would rather pick one for somebody for Frey.
Yeah. There's this video of this little ninja girl that does all these cool flips and kicks, and she's a little blonde girl, and she's like 11 in that video. Maybe the time she gets old enough, maybe she could be a Buffy and something. But
I guess if I had to pick
anybody.
somebody, if I absolutely had to, well, it depends, because, I mean, we're in season 11, like in the comics. Buffy now is a lot different than, you know, the Valley Girl she started as. But as overall, getting the gist of Buffy, I would say, Thaisa Farmiga. I think she would do a good job.
Alright.
What's in your pocket? It's crinkly.
A receipt for cupcakes.
Hi, honey bunny.
Hi.
You got eyelash.
Oh no.
Hey, let me get it.
Ouch.
Here, make a wish.
Oh.
You're supposed to. All right, I'm going to make a wish.
Blew it into my wine.
Good. You can drink yourself. How's it taste, Danny?
Horror movie last year, Get Out.
Spoiler alert, we're getting ready to do our 2017 list.
I
But
know,
yeah,
but
it
you
was
asked
Get
the
Out.
question, so. Still watch our video, please. There'll be 19 other ones that you didn't know about.
Yeah, we couldn't narrow it down to 10. What is going on?
Not Megan Fox. I was kidding, guys. Though she was rumored to have been,
No.
like, who they had in mind
In
for it.
Megan Fox's defense, I'd say one of my favorite all-time horror movies is Jennifer's Body, and she's fantastic in that, but nobody ever gives that movie a chance because they think Megan Fox, they think Transformers, they think it's gonna be crap, but it's actually really, really good.
No, she did a good job in that. Not one of my favorite movies by all time, so I do think it's highly underrated.
It's written by Diablo Cody, who did Juno.
It and Gerald's Game were both great. Especially It. Oh, man. Be watching that forever.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it like somebody, but it is up there too on our list.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Gerald's Game made the list, didn't it? I don't know.
It did. Stop giving them spoilers or they're not going to ever watch our channel again.
Like, oh, we already learned enough we need to know.
So,
on,
Danny,
suckers.
I talked to them a little bit about, you know, how you did Tusk for the first video and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My first video that I was in was the Gone Girl review. The first video Lols was in. Lols originally didn't talk.
Well, the first video technically you were in was my review of Cabin Fever, because at the end I gave you a Valentine's Day
Yeah,
present.
but... First one that Lols was in was Gory Storytime, which we need to do some more of those. But why don't you talk about what got you started on Horror Addicts? In the meantime, you guys can ask more questions. You guys can ask questions about horror. You can ask questions about us. You can ask questions about YouTube. Whatever.
I just like to make stories and movies and videos and stuff. I'm a pro wrestler. I, loved drama back in high school. I just wanted to tell stories. I always write a lot of stuff. And the only thing I was really into on YouTube at the time was Angry Video Game Nerd. I loved how he always did little skits with his reviews of them. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh, I'd love to do skits. And I started watching Black Nerd, Andre. And most of the time, he had some skits back in the day too, but most of the time he was just kind of a cool guy on a camera. And I was like, I could do that. So I did it.
So, Fuego, did you say Gone Girl's going to get a Criterion release? Because that would be awesome. I do know that Night of the Living Dead is getting a Criterion release, and so is Silence of the Lambs. Also, hey, I'm going to share something with you guys. Amazon asked us to make like a Horror Addicts page. And it's not a wish list. It's a store that if you guys buy anything from it, we get like a cut of it. So it helps the channel. But what we put on here was movies that we recommend and movies that we're looking forward to, like releases we're looking forward to, movies that we've reviewed. Like I added the Drag Me to Hell from Scream Factory that I'm super excited about. I added the Night of the Living Dead I just mentioned. I added Mom and Dad, which came out today, I think.
Ooh.
I added the Killer Clowns from Outer Space release, Behind the Mask, the new one, and I'm super stoked for the Friday the 13th complete collection because I missed out on the last one that was a complete collection on Blu-ray. So I'm really excited about that. Oh my gosh, Fuego met Andre.
Nice.
Tell us everything.
Everything.
So here's our little store.
Someone said the main guy from Get Out could be a good Mike in the new It series or Volume 2 as an adult.
Who?
The main guy from Get Out.
That works. Oh no, won't let us post links.
Seeing how that Mike doesn't really talk or express a lot of emotion, maybe he would be really good for him. The main guy from Get Out was also in the second episode of Black Mirror, which I really liked him in that as well.
Is that season 1 or 2?
Season 1.
There you go.
And,
I'll have to look for that in your show. I love Andre.
Yeah, Andre's the shit.
What convention was that at?
As we wait for the answer. Attack of the 60-foot centerfold, yes. I also like the 50-foot cheerleader and just 50-foot woman, which was a great movie.
I liked the 50-foot woman. I even liked the remake of that with Daryl Hannah. That was pretty good.
Rocky likes the ladies.
Hey,
big.
Dino.
Rocky likes big ladies. He's always after the big female dogs.
Do we just want to chat, or do we want to see if anyone wants to join us?
I don't care. If someone wants to join us, that's cool with me. If not, we're just here to celebrate.
I do too watch the horror show, thank you. But the horror show, as much as I love them, they post sometimes 2 videos a day, and I do sadly miss some of them.
We get behind sometimes.
I try to watch as many of them as I can, but it's hard to watch every single episode, and then also keep up with other channels and stuff too. So I think I missed that one. But no, I watched the horror show. I love the horror show.
Mm-hmm.
Which King Kong movie do you like? I like the original. Like the OG.
Yeah, I like that one. There's not a King Kong movie I don't think I haven't liked, though. I've liked them all. That's
true. I've liked them all to some degree. I also, even though it gets a lot of shit, I liked the 78 remake with Jeff Bridges. I liked that one. I also like King Kong Lives. Just because I remember seeing that as a kid, and I love the part where King Kong, snaps somebody in half.
Yeah.
So awesome.
He puts his little fingers in the lake to get the alligators, and then he eats them and stuff. And then where he fights a Robo-Kong, which is kind of a rip-off of Mega Godzilla, but whatever. The only problem I have with the 78 one, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, that's, the Jessica Lange one's the 78 one.
The only problem I have with that one is when they're on the island, there's no other monsters except for him and this giant boa constrictor snake, and it didn't look very good. But other than that, it was good.
Way to drink your Haterade.
I'm just saying, the old black and white one before that had tons of dinosaurs and monsters on there.
I like the Peter Jackson one because, it definitely showed that he has so much passion and so much love for those movies, particularly the original one. Mm-hmm. For me, it's a little longer than it needs to be, and there was a couple parts of it that I thought were just a little bit cheesy, like the
typewriting part,
the ice skating part.
Oh, that part, yeah, and the Skull Island part where they're like, we're going to Skull Island, but then where are we going? He hears a whisper and then types in Skull really dramatically on the typewriter, dum dum dum.
It's not my favorite, but I do think it is a very well made, very good movie, and it looks phenomenal. When you watch it, on a big screen or on an HD TV. The
CGI still holds up, so.
Yeah, I agree with what Fuego said.
It's just long.
Skull Island was very good. I really want to see a King Kong movie, though, that's going to give us maybe something new. Because I feel like a lot of the King Kong movies kind of do the same thing over and over again. I think there's a lot more we can do with that character and with that story. I'm very excited to see King Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah, and they got a universe going that they're building, so.
That's a universe I'm excited about.
I probably am more excited for that universe than really any other ones at the moment.
Yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think of any movie with Samuel L. Jackson as a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I want to see snakes on a plane crash into Skull Island. That's what I want to see. I want to know what you guys think of the Dark Universe. How is that working for you guys? Here's my thoughts.
It's off to a rocky start.
I think it's off to a rocky start. I think it was a cop-out. I'm going to give you guys some spoilers on the new Mummy movie. I do think it's a cop-out that they advertise this as, this woman is going to be the mummy. I can't remember her name. Honestly, she's not that big a part of the movie. And if you watch the movie, it ends up Tom Cruise is the mummy. Mm-hmm. It's all Tom Cruise. Some of parts of it are just ridiculous. Like a couple times, the sergeant, who is an actor younger than him, calls Tom Cruise a 50-something-year-old young man.
He's like, yeah, you're a young, hot-headed man or whatever like that.
It doesn't make any sense. There's some questionable CGI. There's some good CGI. I think all the stuff with the mummy, the woman, looked great. But I gotta say, by far my favorite part was Tom Cruise runs at the mummy and then she's just like, bitch slap. And then he does it again. Dan and I laughed so hard, I think there was a little bit of pee.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, within doubt, just run. That's his go-to. I run. That's what I do. I'm Tom Cruise. I run. He didn't know what to do to the mummy, so I'll run at her. Bam! Gets up. It didn't work. I'll try it again.
I'll do it again.
Bam!
If at first you don't succeed, Tom Cruise it again.
Just run again. Yep.
So
there was also a part where there was like some zombies like attacking their truck and like a zombie got broken in half because they drove near a tree. That made me laugh. I don't know if it was intentional and stuff, but
so yeah, it was
had
a
couple
little
moments in there that made me laugh.
Funny, but I think the problem with the Dark Universe, and it's the problem with a lot of big budget movies, is it's the desire to make money over the desire to tell a story. And I think when your goal is to make money, your goal is to get popularity or to be famous or to make a name or to compete with the Marvel Universe. If that's your goal, you're in movie making for the wrong reasons. And I think the best movies are a good story. I will even forgive some shitty effects, some bad CGI if the story is good. But I can't forgive a movie that lacks passion, that lacks story.
Yeah. And that's what the Dark Universe is pretty much told Tom Cruise, like, hey, you'll be our Robert Downey Jr., you'll be our Iron Man. They told, what's his name, he'll be their Samuel Jackson, he'll be their Nick Fury. And it's just like, it's so forced and fake. It's just copy and paste. Hey, they did something, we'll copy that.
Mummy Impossible. Fuego, Mummy Impossible is the best freaking thing you have ever said in your life.
Now, if they would have called it Mummy Impossible,
Cheers
I probably would
Mummy Impossible.
I probably would have gave it another star in its
Fuego.
rating if it was called Mummy Impossible, because then it would have been intentional on what they were doing. But no.
If we ever meet the horror show at a convention, we'll just steal Fuego and bring it back. We'll be like, you're a horror addict now. Deal with it.
I mean, DC Universe is suffering from a lot of the same problems too, where they're just trying to copy paste what Marvel's doing. Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of like Suicide Squad as a guilty pleasure in a sense. I'm not gonna say it's a great movie, but I liked it. I liked the characters. I had fun watching in it. Yeah, there's so many horrible plot holes in it, but whatever. They basically did just try to go, oh, well, let's rush this out to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy, but you can't do that. They should have put more time into it. I think it could have been a lot better, but And the same thing, Ben Affleck, he was promised he'd be their Robert Downey Jr., he'd be Batman, their Iron Man, but he's already trying to get out of his contract. He's got, like, one more role, and then he's out. I don't know who they're going to get to play Batman after that, but it's going to be weird.
I saw that Zeth Friedel, I'm so sorry, I'm saying your name wrong, but he's going to be, she said that Tom Cruise is going to be in the new Quentin Tarantino Manson movie with DiCaprio. Not looking forward to that, but sometimes Tom Cruise is very surprising. He is talented.
He is.
I love him in Interview with the Vampire. I love Top Gun. He always manages to surprise me sometimes when I think.
I mean, if you watch A Few Good Men, he can act.
He can.
It's just the problem is his acting ability and his ego get out of control, and it's like you got to balance them better. When he wants to, he can though.
One thing I have to say, I'm not opposed to remaking. There's a lot of movies where, like, I know I saw the trailer for Heathers. Oh, it's so good I didn't do a reaction because that would have blown out the mic. I was like, what the fuck? I was so angry. Why? That movie isn't even that old. That movie is still perfect. That movie does not need to be changed in the slightest. So why are we remaking it? I'm not like that with the Universal Monster movies. For starters, these are based on books that, were at the time, they were open for anybody to do. Anybody can make a Mummy movie. Anybody can make a Frankenstein's monster movie. Anybody can make a Dracula movie. They're public domain. That's why we see them in so many things. And I want those monsters to live on.
Yeah.
And it's not like anybody has made the definitive film, because we had those Universal films, and those were a lot of the first horror talkie films. In fact, Dracula in 1931 by Todd Browning was the first talking horror feature. But, yeah, you could say, like, that's it. You know, they did it. They made a Mummy. They made a Dracula. They did this whole universe. But then Hammer came along, and... You know, I prefer the Universal monsters, but you cannot deny that those Hammer films are wonderful
really
in their own way. What they did is they said, you know what? Those Universal films are fantastic. Let's do blood and titties. Because they did not have blood and titties. So if you want your Universal monsters with some blood and titties, you pop in a Hammer movie. And those movies are equally... maybe not equally, but they are beloved in just as many circles as Universal monster films are.
I know people who like them more.
I love them both.
I prefer the Universals, but I have to say, even though they're both old and none of them really scare me, they did go for more violent, scary in the Hammer. They're more spooky fun in the Universal ones, but...
Yeah, and a lot of it depends on what people grew up with and such, too. And then we even had a few resurgences here and there in the 80s and the 90s, but I am all about another monster universe coming back, because it's been done successfully twice now by Hammer and Universal. I just don't think the dark universe is going to make it work. But, if they get people who are passionate about a project instead of people who just want to make some money, then maybe.
It's a shame, because it's a really good idea. It really is. It could be done, like, really well if they really put into it, but it seems like they're just going for that action cash grab to compete with the box office action hero movies, and they need to not go in that direction.
Good night, Monty.
Good night, Monty.
Did Beth say some French? I don't know, I missed something because I was ranting.
Blood and titties. Let's get the blood and titties up in here. In here.
That should be on a shirt.
Heather's 2, Invasion of the Jennifers.
Yeah, Del Toro didn't do a bad job, and again, I liked it because his portrayal was very different than the ones we'd seen before. He wasn't just trying to be, he wasn't just trying to duplicate what had been done in the Hammer films and the Universal films. He was doing his own thing. The only issue I have with the Wolfman, with Del Toro, is Anthony Hopkins showing his hairy wolf chin.
That looked bad.
That part kills me every time.
It's one of the worst transformations
But it's hilarious. It's hilariously bad. So I love it for, I guess, the wrong reasons.
But I thought it was a pretty good movie overall.
It could have been better with some blood and titties.
I liked it when they had him in, like, on the slab and all the people came in for the, like, surgery type thing that they were going to do, and just transformed and went crazy on him. And I thought that part was cool and a new little...
Oh, yeah, I love that
That was a new little touch that wasn't the old one.
And it wasn't something we'd seen before, so you're like, well, what the hell is going to happen? This is new. That ain't been done before.
So it had its ups in it. It wasn't a perfect movie, but it was good.
If the Mummy was a secret agent, yeah, why not, dude? I mean, the Invisible Man, there was the Invisible Agent, so I'm pretty open-minded. I would be fine with that.
We speaking of like a Vincent Price type roles, we just had Laws for the first time ever watch The Great Mouse Detective.
I love The Great Mouse Detective.
And Laws was just laughing about how much like old cartoons could get away with back then, because you got like these burlesque dancing mice women, and like all these mouses are getting drunk. Some of them get eaten and murdered.
Oh, that reminds me.
They pull guns and knives on each other. And it's like, this is a Disney movie? I'm like, yeah, it's a Vincent Price Disney movie.
Oh yeah. God, Tom Cruise. He has brought me so much laughter. So many good times.
Tom Cruise screaming on the plane. It looked fun to film. I'd like to go kind of 0G weightless, but whatever.
Here's a question I have for all of you, because, remakes get shit on a lot. And I have to say, I'm not opposed to remakes. Remakes are as old as movies. I mean, hell... There was even the Todd Browning Dracula. It's the first talkie one, but that wasn't even the first Dracula movie. Yep. I mean, I think it's good that we keep the stories that mean the most to us as people alive. It's an oral history in a sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm not opposed to it. I don't like bad ones. But here's a question: what horror movies would you like to see remade?
Anthropophagus, of course.
I think that would be good.
They're working on a screenplay for it.
Germany did one, but I still have yet to see that one.
I want an American one, and I want the Buseys to play it. Because in Anthropophagus, this little island is eaten by a cannibal, unknowns to the main cast that show up for a vacation of fun. But then they find out there's nobody there, and they find out later this one guy, when he was out shipwrecked and on a raft with his family, just out in the sun, going crazy, starving for days, he ate his family. And then he shows up on this island, and he ate the entire island, basically. He has a crazy sister who was very rich, and they're powerful, like a big mansion, and she was kind of helping him. I want Jake Busey to eat people, and I want his crazy dad, Gary, to help him. And it would just be insane. There's a lot of crazy fun gore in that movie.
Another thing to keep in mind, like Fuego just kind of beat me to the punch, but the Fly and the thing. Now, personally, I love both Flies, but I am partial to the original one. It's just, that one really pulls at my heartstrings. That's what I grew up with, and nostalgia.
Cronenberg one, I just like a little more, but I agree.
I think
the original Fly was amazing.
I think the Cronenberg one is scarier and definitely more of a visceral horror and a body horror. I think the original Fly is more of like this tragic romance, but it always cuts me to the core. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that, and there's so many layers to it too. Like when you watch it a few times and you realize that Vincent Price is in love with his sister-in-law, but he's such a good guy. God, I fucking love that movie.
But yeah, The Fly, The Thing. I also think The Blob is an underrated remake. I think it was really done well. And
Again,
most of the effects hold up. A couple of them don't, but most of it does.
I love the original with Steve McQueen. Fantastic movie. But they did different things. There was a little more comedy. There was certainly better effects. I thought the gore effects in the 80s Blob were phenomenal. You know what's another franchise that they keep fucking remaking, and I have not seen a fucking bad one yet, is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Mama loves for some fucking Paw People movies.
Yeah.
I kid you not. I love the original, They're coming for you. Oh my god, it's fucking amazing. I think my favorite is the 70s one with Donald Sutherland. I fucking love that. I love the 90s one where they're on a military base. I love the Nicole Kidman one. Fucking love me some Invasion of the Body Snatcher movies. So, I think we've seen that remakes can be done well. I think Hollywood's approach has always been, well, this movie made money, let's remake it. And then I think people initially are like, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There are some movies we don't need remade. I don't need a fucking remake of Heathers. I don't need, unless you can do something different with it, And sometimes I'm wrong. I didn't think I needed a remake of It. You know what? I needed that remake. And I'm glad. I don't need a remake of Pet Sematary.
I'm usually opposed to remakes that were done really quickly. Like, if it came out, like Cabin Fever, what was the point? That movie's not old.
Oh, God, that was ridiculous. It was almost shot for shot.
Yeah, they had to...
What was the damn point?
They had to even
That's
credit
a 2000-something movie. Like, what, 2003 that came out, I think?
It's early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, come on. A movie in the 2000s, that's just ridiculous.
However, I do have a couple exceptions, like The Incredible Hulk. That movie was garbage. So yes, if it is broke, fix it. That's why they made a better one.
It's a shitty movie, but it has maybe a good story. Like a good example, again, you guys know I love Buffy. I'm so sorry. This is like the Buffy love show. Buffy loves traveling show.
I got love for Buffy.
But yeah, Buffy wasn't quite what Joss Whedon wanted it to be, and I loved that movie. That movie came out when I was in middle school. I loved it. But I had no idea what it could be. And then I saw the TV show and I saw how they added so many layers and so much depth to it. It was a show that could make you cry, that could scare you, that could make you laugh. And it did so much more than that movie ever could. So that is where you make a remake. When you see something that has the potential to be better. Or possibly something that's outdated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but another one I really want to see is Eli Roth has been talking a long time about a good, bloody remake of The Bad Seed. Mm-hmm. And I love that movie, but having The Bad Seed with a little more teeth to it would be awesome.
Zach mentions a Toxic Avenger remake, which I hear that Troma actually hasn't planned. They do plan to have at least a new Toxic movie. I don't know if it's going to be a remake or not, but... They did a pretty good job with their Return to Nukem High that came out not too long ago, and actually it was like the most polished and big budget Troma movie, and it was really well done. So I wouldn't mind a new Toxic movie if it was upped a little bit, as long as the right people are making it. Spawn, apparently, PR and
Spawn
Bones.
is getting a remake.
Yes, that's what he's talking. And
yeah.
That was the main problem with that one with John Lithgow, or John Leguizamo and stuff, was that it was not R-rated when it should have been. It was pretty close. It was about as pushing as much as a PG-13 could be, but yeah, now that R-rated, like Deadpool and stuff, has proven that it can work.
I think the trick to remakes is, like we said, you got to do something different. Like, a lot of people hated the Evil Dead remake because it wasn't comedy and stuff enough, but the comedy element didn't really come until Evil Dead 2 anyway. The original Evil Dead was played mostly straight horror. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was great. They did their own thing, but they paid enough respect to the original.
How they got a studio to buy it after they made it and actually produce it. Stephen King said it was the best, scariest horror of that year. And that when they asked him if they could use his quote, and he's like, yeah, and that quote helped them sell the movie.
That helps a lot with a lot of movies. I remember Cabin Fever, the reason that one got so much buzz was because Peter Jackson, who before King Kong, before Lord of the Rings, was a horror movie director. You know, obviously Brain Dead was his big, claim to fame, Piranha 2. He, let them put his quote on it, like, scariest movie of the year, and I heard that, I'm like, fuck yeah, Peter Jackson says it's scary, I'm gonna fucking watch this movie.
Stephen King helped with Evil Dead 2 as well. The actress that's in Evil Dead 2, she was also doing something with Stephen King, but she was talking about how Evil Dead 2 was looking for some sort of producer or whatever they needed for it, and but she wanted to get in that movie, but the movie was on hold until they got one, and then Stephen King's called the right people to have it made. It's like, no, I'll help out.
And there's some, like, I've heard the Pet Sematary remake is in the works, and even if it was made, it's not, but, I mean, even if it was made, like, by the guy who did it, Pet Sematary, to me, is the scariest movie of all time. And if it ain't broke, don't fucking touch it. That's my thought on that. I know they're making a Grudge remake. To me, that doesn't seem old enough. Sequels are kind of in the same boat, don't you think? Sometimes I feel like sequels are made just to make money, and sometimes sequels are made because there's more story to tell. They are making, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, they are making a return of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
And the same director, so from what we hear, right?
Yeah, it's the same director.
He hasn't done much since then, but they're bringing him back for it. And that...
Okay, what the hell?
There's a ghost behind us.
They're playing with us.
Unless there's a ghost sending in the type.
What the hell?
How did they jump in on this?
And they're all people I don't even know. Oh, there's suddenly 45 people watching this. Okay.
Alright, ghosts. Are we getting ghosted?
I have no idea, but I guess thank you for watching our stream.
Daisy Disturbed. Alright. We know there's a ghost behind us. He's part of the family.
We like ghosts. It's all good. I thought for a second there they wanted to see Ghost remade. I was like, with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze?
Whoopi Goldberg and that hot lesbian action.
Well, I guess our chat's kind of broken.
If they replace Whoopi Goldberg with Halle Berry, I am totally on for that girl-on-girl kiss.
That's messed up, dude. How does Demi Moore look these days? Last time I checked, she wasn't really aging.
No, but I mean, it doesn't have to be her. I'm just saying Whoopi Goldberg's character
so
is played by Halle Berry's.
I don't think you said what you wanted to see remade. Another one I would like to see, just because we got such a solid... We got the Tom Savini remake of Night of the Living Dead. That was good. Mm-hmm. We got the Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead. I thought that was good. We have yet to get a decent Day of the Dead remake. Day of the Dead Bloodline was not it.
No, Day of the Dead, I don't think... I've kind of given up on that ever having a good remake. Which is sad, because that's actually my favorite of the trilogy, of the original trilogy. I love Night of the Living Dead, and I love Dawn of the Dead. Those are perfect movies. But I think just because how great that gore is in Day of the Dead, plus I just liked the whole story. Bub stole my heart as well. I don't know, Day of the Dead's my favorite, but it cannot get a good remake. The other two's got great remakes.
Yeah.
But, nope, I've given up. Day of the Dead is never going to get a good remake, probably.
It could. Don't say never, man.
I just don't... What they need to do is wait till they have a really good zombie, ability to make one, with a good budget and everything. Then go for it. Don't drag Day of the Dead into your shitty little straight-to-DVD zombie movies that are not... They don't need that. What was, didn't ask your question. What was it?
Whose question?
Ariel says, you didn't ask my question, Danny.
What was your question? It probably got hidden.
It just filled up with all these weird ghost remarks that we kind of couldn't see what people were saying. Somebody said, I think Fuego said he did not like the Evil Dead remake.
It's not for everybody, but I mean, I think you can still say that they did something different. And that's what I appreciated, because I didn't want... I would have been upset if somebody was playing Ash. Yes, they have a guy wearing a shirt like Ash.
Yeah, but he's not Ash.
They have a character that kind of takes on the role with the chainsaw. I was very nervous initially that somebody else was going to be playing Ash. And I'm sorry, there is one fucking Ash. It's Bruce motherfucking Campbell. Don't touch it. And when I saw that that's not what they were doing, I was a little more open to it, and I ended up having a good time.
Yeah, originally it was gonna get remade, but it did get kind of, like, shot down by Raimi and stuff. They, like, did everything they could to stop that remake from happening. But then they came to the conclusion if they don't produce a remake themselves, someone eventually will. So that's why they were actually really on board in producing the remake, so that it could be kind of done in the way that they would like it to be done. And if you read the comics or anything, like play the video games with Evil Dead, you will know that there is multiverse there. There's lots of different Ash Williamses. There's lots of different things.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
like the Oldsmobile being in that movie, I thought was part of the multiverse. And yes, we saw the Ash cameo after the credits. That was awesome.
But so that remake was kind of saying it's a similar story and movie, but it's kind of an alternate dimension. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and so that works.
Ash has even traveled to the Marvel dimension where he fought zombies and werewolves and stuff.
Didn't he fight Howard the Duck?
He got the Ash that actually lived in that Marvel universe never got to be a hero because the world was full of heroes anyways, so he was never needed to be a hero. That Ash tried to be a hero last second, and that Ash got eaten by Howard the Duck zombie.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But the main Ash Williams killed that Howard the Duck zombie and moved on. But you know.
Oh, we like got into a whole remake tangent.
Yeah, we did, but that's fine. Oh, The Car is a great movie. I like that.
I love The Car. The Car is one I kind of saw later. You know, I didn't see it when I was a kid or anything. But it's really funny.
It is.
I didn't expect it to be funny. It was really, really good.
But it's also pretty brutal as well, so.
It's brutal. It's funny. It's a lot of what I love. I mean, I like what I call kind of the full meal deal in movies. I like movies like Shaun of the Dead, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where you get your comedy, you can get your romance, you can get your horror, you can get your action. I like to get as much of an experience as I can. I think that's why I like movies like Army of Darkness and Evil Dead. That's why I like movies like Final Girls. I like lots of different things coming together.
Christine, I would say, in a sense, they're both horror movies, but it's kind of a tragic, possessive, romance, four-way movie in its own sense. Because there's like a four-way love square, not a triangle, because you got to throw Christine in there herself. But The Car is more just straight up a slasher, where it's just this crazy car that's pretty much indestructible, and until they blow it up, and then like this weird demon fire comes out of it. But till that, they shoot it, they smash it, no dents ever even like occur into it. It flips around and just gets like mangled, but doesn't have any damage, and it just runs people down. It can't go on like, you know, sacred ground like cemeteries and churches. But
yeah.
I loved what it did in The Car because one of the main women, like, you think she's gonna live, like she's gonna be the final girl,
yeah,
but it runs her down in her house.
Spoiler alert.
Which that happens in Christine the book, but they didn't get to do that in the movie, where Christine will go into your house to kill you, and I liked how they showed that in The Car at least. I don't want a Pet Sematary remake.
I don't
want a Christine remake. Somebody was asking me about that. I'm like, actually, as far as the book and the movie concerned, Christine's still technically alive. Like, she was destroyed, but she was slowly coming back in the movie. And in the book, she kills what's-his-name in a movie theater later. So she's still alive. I wouldn't mind a sequel, but I don't want a remake. If you want to have Christine mowing some millennials down, I'm all for it. I don't think it would be nearly as good as the old one, but
I don't think so either.
But I wouldn't mind it. It wouldn't ruin the old one, so fuck it. I just, you know, I like to see Christine when she makes appearances in movies. Like, what was it, Smothered? She was in that.
Yeah, she was in that.
So, we're friends with Christine now, so we've met
We
her.
are.
She wishes me happy birthday on Facebook every time it's my birthday. So.
She told me she likes redheads.
Yep. So I wouldn't mind her getting more work. I don't want a remake.
PMR Bones wants to know if we've seen the Ginger Snaps trilogy.
Yes, we have, and that's one of my favorite werewolves movies.
Yeah,
especially
I love
the trilogy.
the Ginger Snap movies.
The first one,
especially the first one.
The first one's really good. I love the story of two. I just hate how Ghost really never gets her up and coming. She's the most annoying character for me. But, oh well, I like it still. And then 3 is a weird old-timey ancestor movie, but I still really enjoy it.
You know what I find really surprising, talking about remakes and adaptations? We had a ton of Stephen King adaptations this last year, and I'm looking at the schedule for 2018, and I haven't seen a single one on the docket. I mean, I don't see another one coming out until 2019 with It Chapter 2. I know they're also working on an adaptation of Rose Matter, and I am very excited about that because I love that book.
I know his new book, The Outsider's coming out this year, though.
Yeah, there's new books, but as far as Stephen King adaptations, what are some other novel book adaptations you guys would like to see? A graphic novel one that I would really like to see, if you guys have seen, I think his name's Scott Snyder. He wrote one called The Witches. It's Wytche. It's brutal as all fucking hell. Amazing, amazing artwork.
Yeah.
Such a good, solid story. It's got heart. It's got horror. Fucking love that. I would love a TV show or a movie of witches.
Pledged is pledged.
Yeah. God, this is how The Witches opens, just to kind of introduce you to the world of witches. There's a woman, and she's kind of tearing herself out of this tree. Trying to. And then she sees her child on the ground, sitting, cross-legged in front of it. And she's like, help, get me out. He picks up a rock, smashes her face, and says, pledged is pledged. Mm-hmm. Boom. Witches. So good. So good.
I don't think The Blob needs to be remade again. It got remade in the 80s, and it was good.
That's right. There is going to be another Children of the Corn and the Castle Rock show. I am looking forward to those. I mean, we kind of had the Blob that ate everything in the Goosebumps movie, and I thought that was more than enough. I'm looking forward to the second Goosebumps movie. Horrorland?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
And Horrorland's the next one. I'm hoping for, if they do a third Goosebumps movie, they'll have monster blood.
Ariel mentioned Edgar Wright. Actually, Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg have a movie coming out this year called Slaughterhouse Rules, and that looks amazing. So, definitely look that one up. That one sounds really good.
I don't know if Edgar Wright is going to direct the remake of Evil Toons, but I will look into that, Ariel.
That would be interesting.
I haven't heard anything on that, but I will look into it.
I just know about Slaughterhouse Rules. A remake of this stuff? That would be interesting. It would be cool if they tried to actually make it scary, because I love this stuff, but it's a goofy movie. Mm-hmm.
They'd have to make it something a little more like foodies and millennials would eat.
Another movie that I think I would like to see, and I think I want my vampires to be scary again. Mm-hmm. There's a movie called Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. I've talked about it on a few streams before, where there's a virus and all the children immediately drop dead. And it happens like around the world. So like if it happened in my time zone, on our time zone, the Pacific Standard Time, then everyone in Eastern Standard Time would know that in 3 hours time, all their children are going to die. It takes over the whole world. Everyone buries their children. And then 3 days later, the children dig themselves out of their graves and go home. And they're kind of like zombies. But then they start to ask for blood. And then you find out like a pint of blood makes your child how they used to be for maybe an hour. And so they start giving more and more of their blood. And some people resort to killing people. Some people resort to like bartering blood just so they can have their kids back. But the longer this goes on, the more monstrous the children become. And then the parents just get all kinds of crazy. It is such an intense, dark, thrilling book. I would love to see a movie of that.
Ariel, I think you are obsessed with Terror Tunes.
Yeah, you are, Ariel.
But that does sound awesome.
Intervention. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I would like to see the Stuff versus the Blob. I want more versus movies.
When you're some verse movies would be great. You're talking about how, before I got here, but I could hear you on my way home, that there wasn't enough vampire movies last year, and that's true, but you forgot Vampire Cleanup Department.
Oh my fucking god! Cutest fucking vampire movie ever. Have you guys seen Vampire Cleanup Department? It's a Chinese film. It is amazing. You get hopping vampires. Yeah. You get a little bit of a romance. You get the cutest fucking vampire of last year, Summer. Mm-hmm. Best zombie of last year was Smalls from It Stains the Sands Red. It's so good. It's funny. It's action-packed. It's got some great effects. Dude.
Yeah, it was great.
All the praise. All the praise.
Yeah, I was surprised you forgot that when you were talking about it earlier, but it's
Well,
really good.
you know, my brain only handles so much information.
Chud could have been a lot more gory, that's for sure.
Yeah, a remake of Chud wouldn't be bad. Chud is one that you grow up and you hear about it, and I watched it as an adult, and I was a little underwhelmed.
I liked it. Chud 2 was originally supposed to be Return of the Living Dead 2, but they switched that out.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. It wasn't what I thought it would be. It didn't meet the hype.
Yeah. I liked it, but I saw it at a young age, and therefore it's kind of grown on me, and
It's like a fungus.
I still like it. But yeah, it could have been better. I like how John Candy's like got a small, or not John Candy, but John Goodman's got a small role in it as a cop. Just a little cameo.
Now, what are some movies we want to see more of? I want to see some more vampire movies. I love werewolves, and I still feel like we haven't had that many really great werewolf movies compared to other genres like vampires and stuff. There's so many great vampire movies, but you know, the best werewolf movies are like Ginger Snaps and American Wolf in London. I'm excited for that Swearwolves one.
Oh yeah, the Swearwolves.
But I want more werewolves. I tend to really enjoy even the shittiest werewolf movies, so I would like more werewolves.
I don't ask for a whole lot of my werewolf movies, so I want a wolf that kills people, obviously, and a decent transformation. And, you know, awesome story is bonus, but
I guess the Bone Tomahawk director's remaking Puppet Master?
That might be really good.
That's cool.
I loved Bone Tomahawk, and I love Puppet Master, so I kind of would like Puppet Master. If they're going to remake it, I kind of want them to do what they did with the Friday the 13th remake, where they squashed the first 3 movies together in a remake. Because I love the first 3 Puppet Master movies, but they don't... Like, if you watch them in order, there's some continuing, like, little errors that, like, they mess up on dates from the other ones and how the story kind of plays out. I think if you put all 3 of them in together, you would have, like, a perfect movie. Just take the best parts.
Fuego mentioned Silver Bullet and Bad Moon, and we love both those movies, especially Bad Moon. But Bad Moon is actually based on one of our favorite books, a book we both love called Thor. And as much as I love Bad Moon, Thor is so much better. Thor is a book told entirely from the perspective of the family's German Shepherd.
90% of it. There's like
90%.
1 or 2 chapters where it's not the dog.
And it's so wonderful because, I mean, they don't make this a silly character, but he thinks like a dog, and there's some really cute parts in there. Like, I remember one part where the cat is like going near his food, so he takes all his food out one by one and he moves it to a different place. The cat doesn't get to it, but he thinks like a dog. He wants to protect his pack, and he's so confused because, you know, the uncle comes. He knows the uncle has something wrong with him. He knows there's some kind of a beast. But whenever he tries to do anything to protect the family, you know, like he barks or something, or he bites somebody, the family's like, oh, you're a bad dog. And it's so hard for him because he has these conflicting things where he needs to be a protector. He also needs to be a good boy. And he's so loyal to his family, and it's heartbreaking at times. It's such a good book. So, Thor,
Yeah, I love Thor.
can't remember the name of the author off the top of my head.
I was working on a short story called Odin. I was going to do that. Just the reason why it's called Odin because that's Thor's dad, but it was going to be about a dog's perspective of a zombie apocalypse, and it was like upset that he was always not allowed to bite the mailman, but now his master's doing so. Puppet Master 2 is the best, I believe, of all the Puppet Master movies, so I would want them to focus more on that one. It's kind of why I would like it to be a mishmash of the original trilogy, focusing mostly on 2, because that is my favorite of the Puppet Master movies.
Yeah, Howling has some bad sequels, though. I kind of love, in a so bad it's good way, the marsupials.
What?
The marsupials is funny.
Oh, yeah.
Ariel, that's a Danny question. I'm not the full moon guy. I think they're all right, but Danny is more of a... Stand Against Evil I didn't think was very good, but that's just my opinion.
Ben McKenzie? I wouldn't mind him playing it. I don't know. I wouldn't mind a new Dollman movie, but I wouldn't know what to do with him. Other than Dollman versus Chucky, I guess. More Canadian horror stories. Yes, more Canadian horror stories indeed. Zach Bird. Indeed, eh? Zach Bird, who's in the chat there, is our Canadian Jason.
And I've also said this a lot before. I love that Get Out did this, but I want to see more different kinds of people represented in horror movies, because I feel like we're seeing a lot of the same archetypes. You know, we have not seen all horror fans represented in horror movies. I love that Get Out, you know, because, you know, the black population loves horror movies as well, but they haven't had that many horror movies where black people get to be the hero or get to have a really cool role, other than like People Under the Stairs, Night of the Living Dead. There's not a lot of them. And then Get Out made, you know, Jordan Peele said he made the movie he wanted to see. From my point of view, I feel like whenever I see mothers in horror movies, that they're not that accurately portrayed. It's always one kind of mother. And I love, like, the Dee Wallace mother in Critters and stuff, but it's always somebody who's infinitely sweet, infinitely patient, you know, pretty conservative.
Well, Cujo, she was not the stereotypical
No, she's
mom.
not. And I actually love that one because of the part where she is so frustrated that, you know, when the dad is asking for his dad, she's like, I want your dad too. You know, that's honest. That's real. I want to see more moms like that. You know, like Ripley in a way was kind of like that in Aliens. But I want to see more of that. I want to see more kind of, you know, different kinds of moms. You know, like we kind of saw that in Mama, the kind of punk rocky mom. But just more different kinds, because moms come in all shapes and sizes. You know, we also saw in Addams Family and Munsters. You know, you can even have creepy moms and still be a good mom.
I didn't care for the character much, but I have to say we watched a movie called Open House last night. The mom was a little different than usual. She's kind of a bitch, but she isn't your stereotypical mom anyways.
The monster did a good job too. But yeah, just I want to see more horror fans represented in horror. Another thing is, I've talked to a lot of people who are gay, and they love horror movies, and you know what? We don't see a lot of that in horror either. I mean, we're getting more and more, but considering that, you know, that's a big part of the population, you think we would have more representation in horror.
Yeah. I haven't seen Stand Against Evil, but it does, from what I saw, it looked like a ripoff of Ash vs. the Evil Dead. So, not in any hurry to watch it. Jason versus Rubber.
I also think I want to see more horror movies from different places. Like, I think I've yet to see a good horror movie set in Hawaii.
Yeah, the Getaway was like probably the best one. But...
yeah, it's kind of more of a thriller.
And then I guess, you know, some Godzilla movie type things. But
I do like one area where we are doing well in representing more different kinds of people is lately in horror we've had a lot of strong child actors. We had that in the 80s. We're getting that again now. I think that's fantastic.
I don't know about Jason versus Rubber, but I wouldn't mind Rubber versus Flubber.
The Mom in Before I Wake was pretty good. But again, she's conservative, she's pretty, she's blonde, she has a nice house, she's a mom I've seen 1,000 times before. Yeah. She doesn't represent me. You know, that's one thing I get a lot, especially when I go to conventions. They're like, oh, you're cool, you like horror movies and stuff, but you have a kid. We've even had people comment on the channel that it's not good for our son, that it's a bad influence on our son, and honestly, I spend a lot of time with my son. My son and I bond over movies. We spend, you know, a great deal of time discussing movies, probably more time than a lot of people who on the surface look like good parents do. And at the end of the day, we have a lot of love. My son is happy and healthy, and that's all that matters.
And he loves doing the little skits and stuff. He throws tomatoes at me in the
Yeah.
tomato one. He's also, when he's portrayed on there, he gets to be a powerful little kid with all these powers that kids don't love. He loves the
We've
filming
never made
aspect
him
of it.
do that. And
No,
honestly,
he loves
despite
it.
the fact that he knows a lot about horror movies, he hasn't seen that many. He's seen a lot of Universal. He's seen a lot of old school ones. He never watches anything he doesn't want to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a stigma that because we like horror movies, we're probably not good parents. And you know why? It's because you haven't seen it in a fucking movie. You put it in a movie and then people will get it.
That's why I love the Devil's Candy. I love the family in that.
I loved the Devil's Candy for exactly that reason, because that's another one. Oh, you're into metal music and stuff. You must worship Satan. You must be bad people. But you know what? That family had a lot of love. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they did everything they could for each other. And that was fantastic. It was a heartwarming movie, but it had very alternative kinds of parents. And I want to see that.
Yeah, and if,
Hell, I had an aunt growing up who was like a biker. And very much against what you would consider your typical good aunt. But she was the best aunt ever. He used to take me on her motorcycle to go get me milkshakes and stuff, you know? You don't need to be a conventional conservative, you know, middle class type person to be a good influence on children.
Exactly. Now, I don't know the little girl's name in The Devil's Candy, but if I were to hypothetically have a daughter, I'd want her to be a lot like her. So.
There's also a stigma about horror fans that, I mean, it's going away a bit, and it's certainly not a stigma among horror fans, but there's a stigma that if you like horror, that you potentially might enjoy seeing people in pain, that you might have something wrong with you, that you might have the potential to be a serial killer. And I have found that horror fans tend to be a little more well-adjusted than those who deny some of those darker elements in their life.
I think for the most of us, we get it out of our system that way.
Yeah.
You could blame horror movies and violent video games and heavy metal all you want. There's been slaughter and killing and raping and stuff ever since way before that stuff existed. Way before TV and books and stuff. People are sick when they want to be sick. They're gonna be. We just have our own way to have fun and vent. I think for the most people, that's why most horror people seem very mal-mannered and well-adjusted, if you actually get to know them.
I mean, that's just coming from my point of view. That's something I don't see of myself represented in movies, and I know, you know, Jordan Peele opened my eyes to that his community wasn't represented in movies, and I'm willing to bet, you know, I'm listening to the commentary in Final Girls, I understood that the gay population wasn't being represented, so I know there's a lot more that I'm just not a part of, so I don't see it.
Yeah.
But we need more people who are horror fans to put what they want to see in a movie and make it happen. You know, because when you think, you know, like Jordan Peele said, well, it hadn't been done before. That movie hadn't been made, so we didn't know how to make it. That's when you need to make it. You know, at one point in time, I'm sure there was never a horror sci-fi movie, but somebody loved both those things and they put them together. And that's what it takes. And those are usually the movies that become classics. If somebody has a very unique idea, they think of a movie that they would be a fan of, and then they make that movie.
Granted, I think the first movie was a horror sci-fi where they go to the moon. It's a silent film. They crash into its eye or whatever.
German expressionism type stuff.
I think that was... But yeah, I get what you're saying. And it just... We don't all want vanilla or you know, ice cream. There's more than 31 flavors out there. Let's all have our own.
Horror comedies haven't been around that well. They didn't even really get popular until the 80s. But at some point, somebody decided to make the first one, and now we have a, you know, wonderful subgenre. And so I just think, you know, if you don't see yourself represented in movies, and you're a fan of movies, and you have the ability to make movies, then you need to make that movie happen.
It's Adam Green. I love how he puts humor in his horror movies. He gets a lot of critique for that, though, and he's like, "Sorry, I made you laugh. I forgot that people hate to laugh."
Yeah.
It's like, don't make me laugh. I hate laughing. I don't know. We just want to have a good time. That's why sometimes even if I don't like the movie a lot, but I'll watch the special features, I can still like really relate to just these people who, you know, made a movie and had a great time doing it. And that's why one of the reasons I like to watch the special features, just to see how the movie was made. Because sometimes it's just a quick, cut and dry production. I'm here to get my paycheck, do that. And sometimes a horror, especially, because horror is a little easier to make for some people. That's why there's a lot of low budget. People look down on that, but it's usually people who just really want to have fun and make a good movie.
You know, Sean makes a good point. We haven't seen satanic movies except for maybe House of the Devil, Lords of Salem since the 70s. Thanks, Jerks Production. That's another good point. I actually have a few friends that are satanic, and they're good people. I've never seen that in a horror movie. A satanic person that's a good person.
It's represented well.
That is represented well. That is represented honest. To another thing I would like to see is more witch movies where, one, the witches aren't vilified, because I'm a witch, and I tend to see more often than not that it's a very one-note type villain character. Even in great movies like Suspiria, those villains are not developed very well.
Rob Zombie usually wants you to cheer for the satanic characters in his movies, but they're still not represented as good people. Nobody in a Rob Zombie movie is a good person.
And I think when things really become normal for people is when a character can just have that element to them, and it's not what the movie's about. Like, for instance, a Friday the 13th movie where one of the counselors also happens to be a pagan. Mm-hmm. You know, then you see it as just a normal thing, which is what it kind of is. It doesn't always have to be centered around the plot. I mean, how many episodes of Buffy were there that involved Willow, but weren't about her particularly?
Yeah. I'd like to see, like, a slasher film where there is a satanic character, and everybody, like, hates that person, thinks they're sick and weird. But at the end, it's like that's the person who kind of saves the day, and then like, you know.
Yeah. Ariel, I absolutely would say that Ghostbusters is a horror comedy. Hi, Dead Lantern Pictures. My thoughts on this is Suspiria rebuild. I can't pronounce it, but I like it. Here's my thoughts on this. See, I love Suspiria, but sometimes a movie is not about the story. It's about the experience. It's about putting feelings into a visual form.
Art.
Yeah. And that's what Suspiria is. The story is pretty simple. There isn't a whole lot of story. The characters are not very well developed. The villains are not very well developed. But that is not why you watch Suspiria. It's an experience. The colors, the music, all of it, the camera work, it makes you feel something. And so they don't need to do a lot with the story because there's so much going on visually. Another movie like that is The Shining. Yeah, The Shining has a great story. But I would say what makes that movie wonderful is what's going on visually.
Suspiria is like, you know, motion picture is a movie. Suspiria is like a motion painting.
Yeah, it's beautiful, as is a lot of Italian cinema and giallo movies. So with the remake, I'm very nervous because they've already said, like, Suspiria had a very good primary color palette. And they've already said in the remake they're not going to do that. They do, however, have a great cast. They've got Tilda Swinton. However, they have Chloe Grace Moretz, who I like her in a lot of things, but she's also been in a lot of shitty-ass horror remakes. And they have Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know. I could go either way on this. I mean, I guess we'll have to see. Here, the thing I think that will make it potentially a movie that's worth seeing, with a remake, I think you need to do something different. So I am initially not sure how I feel about them not going with a visual style, and using these big colors and stuff like they did in the original. But maybe that means they're actually going to try to go more story based. That would be very different. Now, if they're trying to go more story based with Suspiria, then yeah, they're giving us something we haven't seen before. If they really develop those characters and they make it more of a intense storytelling experience, then I think I could be on board.
Reboots are a tricky thing. You gotta walk a thin line. You gotta give them something new, but you can't shit all over the old one. You gotta stay true to what the original art is in a sense, but do something different with it as well. Like, I remember Michael Bay was originally gonna make the Ninja Turtles from space, and Peter Laird, the creator, well, one of the creators, him and Kevin Eastman, but he was so boycotting that, and so were the fans. There was a huge uproar where they were going to be alien Ninja Turtles instead. It's like, you can't change certain things. You got to go somewhere new with it, but you got to be true to what it is. And so it's a very thin line. That's why a lot of them fuck up so bad, because they either do one or the other wrong so badly. But
yeah, I did like Chloe Grace Let Me In. Of course, Kick-Ass. I like that Amityville Horror remake. I don't care what you say. Ryan Reynolds chopping wood with his shirt off. I could watch that all fucking day.
I thought it was alright.
I could watch that all day.
I like the Amityville house more than I like its movies, to be honest, though.
Yeah.
And I loved how, like, Jaws is swimming around in their backyard.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially in the remake and stuff, when they go out on the boat, it's just like, and then they were eaten by Jaws.
I remember when that house was for sale a while ago, and we're like,
we wish we could move.
If New York wasn't on the other side of the damn country.
Oh, we would have tried if we could have. If there was somehow we could have financially pulled that.
Because it wasn't even that overly priced, like you would think for a house of that size. That would be cool.
I hear they took out the windows though, but we'd put them back in.
I believe the new Hellraiser movie doesn't come out until next month, and I saw the trailer, and I think it looks garbage.
I didn't like the last one, so...
The last one was garbage. Hellworld was garbage. The problem is, here's what's happened with the Hellraiser series. Originally, Hellraiser was the brainchild of Clive Barker. He directed the films. He wrote the scripts. And we got that with the first 3 movies. 3?
Yeah.
4 movies, because he did Hell on Earth as well.
Well, that is part
3. Wait, that's, yeah.
Hell on Earth is the 3rd.
Bloodline. That's the 4th one?
I think Bloodline.
Yeah, Bloodline's the 4th one. He did the first 4. Then after that, what happened is they would get these scripts, and they would say, you know what? We could make that into a Hellraiser movie. And sometimes that works. Like in one of them, they got that guy from Nightbreed off the top of my head. I can't remember the name of it. That one was all right. But some of them don't work very well, like Hellworld didn't work very well. But even the ones that are made to be Hellraiser movies, like Revelations, that one sucked some serious ass. But honestly, for me, the biggest thing is also Doug Bradley. For me, is that lead Cenobite character, Pinhead. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like having another actor play him in the last one. No. I'm nervous about it in this one. It doesn't look like it's a good Hellraiser movie from what I'm seeing. What I would like to see, and I actually had a chance to talk to Doug Bradley at Cryptic-con last year, and I asked him, because he's left the series because he got so tired of the shitty remakes, mm-hmm. and he especially thought Revelations was a shit script. And he said, hey, if they made a good script, he would come back. But, Hellbound was great, part 2. He said if they made a good script, he would come back, but he hasn't seen that happen yet. And I asked him, because I loved the book, how do you feel about the Scarlet Gospels? And if that was made into a movie, would you do it? And he said, in a heartbeat.
The last one, he said the last one he did, the script was shit. And then the one that they did without him, they didn't even send him a script, and he said that was fine.
Yeah, he's like, that's fine.
They made that movie in 2 weeks in a small little studio and for $20,000 or something like that. And they just rushed it out.
If you're not familiar with Scarlet Gospels, it's kind of like this amazing
collage
opus of Clive Barker work. It combines Lord of Illusions characters. It combines, Hellraiser characters. It's so epic in proportion. It would be a phenomenal.
It's kind of like his open universe.
It is.
Like, Stephen King has an open universe through his novels, but Clive Barker has
a beautiful conclusion to that character. I'll call him Pinhead, but, technically the character doesn't have a name. He's just the lead Cenobite. But, yeah, beautiful conclusion to that character. That's a movie I really want to see. And I want Clive Barker to direct it. And Doug Bradley back.
Doug Bradley needs to be it. I don't want another Pinhead while we still have Doug Bradley. I don't see the point. I don't want a different Freddy Krueger while we still have Robert Englund. I don't want a different Chucky's voice while we still have Brad Dourif. Thankfully he's still around and we still have him as Chucky, but
sometimes people can surprise you. The replacement singer of Journey is pretty fucking good, dude. But a lot of times, more often than not, when there's a difference between somebody else playing Jason. When so many people have played Jason, I don't think anyone really owns that role. Not even Kane Hodder, who didn't even come in until part 7. I love Kane Hodder. He is my Jason. But, that was a role that existed long before him. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. He's been there since day one. And so I think it's very hard for fans to wrap their head around somebody else, particularly when that actor is interested in continuing with the role.
Exactly.
Same thing with Doug Bradley. That is his role. It'd be like if somebody else was Elvira. It just doesn't fucking work. It's why that Munsters movie without the actual cast from the Munsters didn't work.
I don't like the Munsters movies. I like their show. The movies aren't very good.
Some things just, they leave an impression on you, and part of that impression is developed by the actors who created these roles.
Exactly. I'm still a huge fan and supporter of Gwar with their new singer, but he's not playing Odorous. If they would have had a new singer be Odorous Orungus, I would have been not for that. But they got.
But then, like I said, I fucking love the new singer of Journey. However, the guy from Free, Paul What's-His-Butt, who took over Queen, shit. So you just never can tell. You never can tell. Sometimes people surprise you, though.
Is it all about the Reaper? It's always all about the Reaper, Brian Barnes.
It's all about the Reaper. What? Everybody, right now, stop what you're doing. Subscribe to Brian Barnes' channel. He does amazing, hilarious commentaries on old Mondo films that nobody else is doing on YouTube. He's very funny. He's been on our show multiple times. He also has the character the Reaper. There's the animated banana.
The Beast.
There's the Beast. He is very funny. He's got that old horror host sensibility and a massive ton of horror knowledge. I cannot believe he has not got 1 million subscribers. So
he's a suave pimp, and you know what? He edits very well too.
Very well.
Highly edited.
Very well.
Doing very well.
And one of our very first friends here on YouTube.
Our first collab was with him.
Our very first collab. So.
And our last collab was with him.
Check out Brian Barnes. We are huge fans.
Especially
and of course, you see Fuego here. Fuego is is famous for his spot on the horror show. I'm sure you guys are already subscribed, but that's a great show as well.
Check out horror show.
Paul Rogers, there you go. Great in Free, great in Bad Company, not so much in Queen.
No, but sometimes you just don't fit with certain bands. But whatever. I mean, I don't know. Queen was a hard one. Replacing Freddie Mercury is just like, that's such a sound, you know? Like,
You know, we got a new singer in Gwar. It worked. He's part of Gwar family.
worked in AC/DC, but it just depends.
Sometimes it does. Why did we got on a music tangent? But I guess we were using music as an example to say that, you know, it's worked in music. It possibly could work in movies, but
it's gotta be done right.
it would take a lot to convince us, as, you know, the two horror fans that we are. A small part of this massive horror family that also includes you guys. So you let us know what you think.
I mean, there's other ways to go around it too. Like, you could have more Nightmare on Elm Street without.
Adam Lambert's in Queen now? That's kind of cool. I'll have to check that out. That sounds kind of cool. My son's favorite band is Queen, but he kind of stopped listening. Well, he only listens to the old school stuff.
And that's one of the main reasons why I really still support Gwar is Brocky. He wants the band to go on. He said it could live for 1,000 years, if not forever. It's just. That's the plan. When you quit Gwar, you hand over your costume and someone takes over the thing. But if you die while being in Gwar, then they retire your character. And with Dave Brocky, that was more needed than anything. So, hopefully it keeps going.
Favorite Lovecraft film? I like that question.
Does
Honestly,
Call of Cthulhu count?
I don't know. I feel like this was very Lovecraftian. I loved Spring. Have you guys seen that one with Aaron Moorhead and I can't remember the name of the other guy, but that one is wonderful. It's this guy goes to Italy to kind of get away from it all, and he meets a girl, and he's coming on pretty strong, and she's like, "Hey, I'll bone you, but I ain't gonna date you." And you end up, you know, you think it could be a vampire movie, you think it could be a werewolf movie, people start dying, but what it ends up being is something you have never seen before.
There was a Cthulhu movie. It was black and white, and it had no sound. But it came out just
Isn't it Call of Cthulhu?
Call of Cthulhu, and it only came out about, like, I think 6 years ago, maybe a little less. I don't know. That was actually done really well, though.
You also liked The Void.
I like The Void. So, I wasn't sure if it strictly had
Reanimator.
Yes,
Reanimator, obviously.
Okay, Reanimator.
Yeah, Reanimators. I fucking love Reanimator. Here's another thing, and I'm probably going to lose like half of you guys watching it right now. But another big thing I have been preaching since day one on this freaking channel, you know, I want more equal opportunity nudity. I don't mind blood and titties, but, you know, can we drop a dong once in a while? Can we show some more, like, naked dudes? You know, Reanimator, one of the best freaking scenes in Reanimator, it's like naked zombie fight. That was awesome. There's dudes dongs flopping around, boobs, the whole enchilada.
You got, what's his name from the league, dropping dong in Creep 2.
Yeah, dude.
And just like,
that was awesome.
A small glimpse of a nip from what's her name in that movie.
Just more equal opportunity nudity, you know?
I'm all for that, but I'm not into that.
Half the population likes dongs. Let's show more dongs.
I like boobies and vaginas.
I'm just saying, right now, blood and titties is a thing. 10 years from now, I want dong and blood and dongs to be a thing.
Blood and dongs. Oh, I don't know about that, but you should get your dongs in movies. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
And I also have to thank Reanimator, because even though Beyond Reanimator is by no means a good movie, it sucks some serious balls. It has like one of the best penis scenes ever, because there's a reanimated dong that this rat, like this zombie rat, is like pushing down an alleyway, and then the dong reanimates itself, and then the rat and the dong fight, and it's about the most beautiful fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I laughed so hard, I cried.
Death says, nah, no naked men. We got 2 Reapers in the chat right now.
Hey, Death!
Death and Brian Barnes.
But Death's all lady.
Yeah, Death posted something on Twitter, like, who is the sexiest Reaper, and Brian Barnes was one of them. I voted for him. I said he's pimp. And he's like, no, I'm a pump.
He is pimp.
See him all suave when he does his Mondo theaters.
Don't you think that Brian looks like he has the softest hair?
I don't want to know, but probably.
I bet he does. Brian, question for you. What kind of conditioner do you use?
Blood-sucking freaks that has dongs for you.
Oh, I love From Beyond, too. There are a lot of good ones out there. I'd have to really think about it, though. I feel like we just watched a very Lovecraftian. Residue. I saw that recently on Netflix. That was really good.
John Bobbitt the musical. Frankenpenis, that's what his porno was. I guess we could technically review that. It's a horror-esque.
I want to see some stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve! Look, it's Steve McGinnis. So, we just filmed an unboxing. But Steve is not only, if you guys got your Bandbox Horror, he did that awesome Sam print from Trick or Treat. But he also has a couple of graphic novels that he sent us. We just did an unboxing, and then next month we're going to have a review for you guys. But it looks like some awesome slashery goodness.
I'm reading that comic, and it's awesome so far.
Yeah, he got to read it first. Don't watch Blood. Oh my god. So speaking of some pretty awful... There are some pretty offensive movies in this world, and I've got to say, I am not...
Suckling.
Don't beat me to it. I got to say, I am not a person who's easily offended. It's very hard to offend me. But a movie that kind of almost got there, it didn't get there, but it almost got there, was The Suckling, which I kind of love in a very guilty pleasure way, as in, like, I feel guilty that I like it.
I like it.
The Suckling is about a whorehouse / abortion clinic. And this is filmed, like, in the quality of, like, basket case.
Yeah, it has a very basket taste, like, feel to it.
So this gal goes in there to get an abortion, and they take the baby. They flush the baby, which, by the way, that is not good for your plumbing.
No.
No.
Plus, she didn't really want to do an abortion. They kind of drugged her and did it because her boyfriend, like, kind of paid them to do so.
Yeah. So they flush the baby. The baby goes into the sewers where, some toxic waste has been spilled. And then the baby starts to mutate, and it ends up becoming this giant monster. And for a movie with no budget, the creature effects were pretty awesome.
I think it all went into the puppet for him, the creature itself. That's where almost, I think, all the budget went into.
Oh, hey, David Moore, thanks for commenting.
No problem. We tried
I
to
also
respond.
would like to point out our Horror Addicts theme song, that was made by ZBird85 here in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I love Basket Case too. I like all the Basket Case movies. That's just Hen and Lauder can do no wrong in my eyes. Frankenhooker is one of my all-time favorite movies. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Frankenhooker is my favorite out of all of them, but
yeah,
he's done some good
Frankenhooker is like a romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm. Want a date? Which basically Frankenhooker is pretty much the brain that wouldn't die, but with
all right, we
cocaine
take over for a bit.
But
do you need another drink?
Yes, please.
What do you want?
Just bring the bottle of wine up. Frankenhooker is not much different from the movie The Brain That Wouldn't Die. It's it's got hookers and cocaine that causes you to explode. Crack cocaine that makes you go boom. But that's basically the only difference. They're very similar stories. So I like that. Doc, do you have like a chalkboard or like a tally, like a marker board, a little white marker board that you could like mark tallies on? Because if so, Doc, I do want to do a collab with you. It probably won't be until next December, but what I want for Doc the Metal Freak, I want to have you on the show, and I want to review the movie Elves, as in plural, elves. And throughout my review, I'll keep checking in on you, and you'll have how many elves have appeared in the film. For those that have seen the movie Elves, you probably already get the joke, but if not, then you'll have to check it out. I'm glad you get it. Brain Damage was good too. I really liked Brain Damage. And I enjoy all the basket cases for the most part. Oh,
Hey,
brought this
everybody.
wine.
Here's Kirby.
Kirby the Kit Kat, who does not look amused at being happy to be here.
He's so cute, though.
He does have a soft belly.
All right, you're free.
He's like, don't bring me into this.
No, he wants to stay.
Oh, well. He just doesn't want you to hold him up to the camera like that.
Because he's still got his holiday belly.
Yeah.
What I miss? Oh, Laws wants to know if you guys miss him. The butt check mark.
Now I'm having red wine.
All right. Oh, did I get a different wine?
It's fine. Yeah, you did. You got the banished wine, which is good.
Oh, should I grab the other one?
It's fine.
All right, I did my hair.
Though the other one has a lot more in it. This one had enough for barely a glass.
Should I go back and get more?
If you're going to need more wine.
Dagnabbit.
I will go back and get more wine in a second.
All right, what's in my thing? I don't know what's in here.
That should be Pie Hole.
You want some?
I like Pie Hole.
Should we play a drinking game?
I think it's Apple Pie Hole. Could be cherry, though. I think it's apple.
I don't even know what I'm doing with my hair.
Which you owe me a bottle of Apple Pie Hole.
You're an apple pie hole.
I am an apple pie hole. What's everyone's favorite flavor of pie? Mine is blackberry. Well, yeah, blackberry.
I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm doing with my hair. One of these days, because I'm pretty rubbish at doing my hair and doing my makeup and all that stuff, one of these days I want to have horror on a stream and you guys can see her do it right and just see me just make a huge mess of my face.
No, you're good. You're also really good at, like, when you did roller derby, she had, like, a jigsaw face paint, and she had a Jason mask face paint, and a lot of people thought that she was wearing an actual mask until they got up close to her, so she's really good at that stuff.
Yeah, I played roller derby for like 4 years.
Cult dude likes apple pie. Well.
Alright, just ignore me playing with my hair.
But pay attention to me playing with mine. Oh, I need a haircut so bad.
Sexy.
I am so in need of a haircut.
Yeah, you can be the beauty, I'll be the brains. I'm fine with that.
As soon as we get some cash in, get a haircut.
The kitty is so loving that light.
Oh yeah, he's entertained.
There are these crazy, like, flashing lights on the floor, and the cat just loves them.
Your mummy gave us those.
Yep. What'd I miss?
Big O Geek likes pumpkin. Jamie Fuego likes coconut cream. Beth S likes lemon. Ooh, lemon meringue. Maybe that is my favorite. I don't know.
I like lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue or blackberry. I don't know.
I like those chocolate silk pies, too, and Oreo cream pies. Those are good.
Bones likes Oreo pie.
Pumpkin pie is good.
Screaming Soup likes pecan. Well, they went somewhere different.
I don't know, dude. I don't even know.
Hi, Dead West, or Manny, or whoever's in there.
That's another
Screaming Soup?
show that is criminally undersubbed. Screaming Soup. It's kind of like if you like Metalopolis. It's got that kind of vibe to it. It's all animated. It's got a running storyline, but they also have fantastic reviews of movies. It got great characters. They go all out on that show. So if you guys are not subscribed to Screaming Soup and you are a horror fan, change that right now. Go and subscribe to Screaming Soup. They are amazing. We are huge fans.
This is a time where YouTube is really kind of under attack, so go help out people, especially Screaming Soup. They do a great job. They animate everything like you said. Their reviews themselves are just really good.
And that's the
but
problem.
Then it's animated as well, so there you go.
The problem with the changes they made is it's 1,000 subscribers and it's also 4,000 hours of watch time, which, you know, like we said before, it kind of leaves out a lot of smaller channels. But also some of these channels, like Screaming Soup, like Homicidal Homemaker, their videos take a very long time to make. And so they're not going to have as many videos. They're not going to have as much watch time. So even if they have the right amount of subscribers, even though they've worked very hard on their stuff, they have quality content, they may not have the watch time. And I know Homicidal Homemaker doesn't. And now that channel is in danger of being demonetized.
Yeah. Not to go completely off what we're saying, but Fuego wants to know what my favorite ECW wrestler is. What does that mean? Because there's a lot of wrestlers like Mick Foley and Terry Funk that were big and then went to ECW. I'm going to go with the ones that got famous in ECW first. I'll give you 5. Lance Storm, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, The Sandman, and... I said Tommy Dreamer. Sabu. There we go.
Screaming Soup, we didn't forget, I actually have a post-it right there on my calendar that says Law's autograph for Billy, and Laws was really happy about that. That made his day. But we have been, our money's been really, really bad.
We have a lot of things we've been meaning to mail.
We can't really even afford...
a haircut.
Yeah, we can't afford basic stuff right now, so we can't afford to mail anything. But we should... my pay this month got delayed, so as soon as that comes, hopefully we can send some stuff out.
RVD, yes. Rob Van Dam. Him and Lance Storm, I think, are the most talented to ever come from ECW. I've been on shows with Tommy Dreamer. He's awesome. I like ECW. Hardcore, yo. You talked him off the ledge. Aw, poor Billy. I'm like worried about what's going to happen to Billy in the next season because it left on a cliffhanger. The last season, you see the cliffhanger?
Yeah.
How Billy's like
Of course
kidnapped by the 4 horsemen, it looked like.
He'll be back.
Well, yeah, he can handle himself, I'm sure.
Oh, wait. I forgot to ask you, Dead West. I actually, I wanted to go autograph for autograph. If we hook you up with a Law's autograph, can we get a Billy one? Billy and Dead West.
Yes.
And it doesn't even have to have Mandy in it. She could still sign it because you could just say she's in the picture naked.
Yeah. But we want all 3 autographed.
Oh my god, they should do that. They should send out people nudie photographs of Mandy. And it'll just be like a backdrop. Hilarious. What was your question, Ariel? I'm sorry I missed it.
They go by sometimes.
That's what people would get for being perverts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hot in here.
Speaking of Invisible Women, though, you need to do that review with Laws. He really liked that one.
I know. He's been really busy lately. I keep saying, you want to do a review with me? He's like, yeah, but I got stuff to do.
Invisible Woman, Laws loved that movie, and she is naked for some of it. Every Invisible movie, though, there's got to be a part where they're naked.
Yeah, I have to say, okay, here's something you guys probably didn't notice. But of any movie I've ever seen, Invisible Man has got one of the highest body counts because he kills a whole train of people at one point. It's like 200 some odd people who die in that. Mm-hmm. It also has a lot of nudity because every time he's fully invisible, he's walking around fully naked.
And I know you like those Hotel Transylvania movies, and I think they're funny too, but I always kind of cringe because I'm like, ew, naked David Spade. Because he's the invisible man of that.
I love the Hotel Transylvania. What are some of your guys' favorite family or kids horror films, monster movies? Kitty? He wants to know what's outside.
Screaming Soup said absolutely, so I think we have a deal.
Yay!
We will send it to you as soon as possible.
Yeah, I told Dedos, I told Laws that earlier. I was like, one day all of this will be yours. He's like, what if I don't want it? I was like, oh. It was like I was trying to have a Simba Mufasa moment, but it didn't work.
I think he did pretty well on a lot of his reviews. He's doing a lot. He did great on his Krampus one, I think. And he did an amazing one with us, Goobers, that we did a collab with Screaming Soup. That was a really fun one. That was probably my funnest, probably the most fun I had on a review last year.
Oh, I do remember Hollow Man. Hollow Man was great, PMR Bones. Sean wants to know what our thoughts are on the new Halloween. I'm really excited.
I am looking forward to it.
I mean, I don't think Carpenter producing and Jamie Lee Curtis being in it are guarantees it's going to be a good movie. I think we still need to go into it with reasonable expectations. I mean, she was in Resurrection and that sucked balls. But so far, everything I'm hearing sounds fantastic. I also like that Nick Castle is back, so I'm looking forward to it.
And yes, Corey does like boobs in movies. She just wishes there was more dongs as well.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've really enjoyed a Halloween movie, so I think that they're going to be able to pull that off. It's got to be a lot better than what we've had recently, so...
Bangs are a pain.
I wasn't a big fan of the Rob Zombie ones. I hated Resurrection. H2O was great, but that was a long time ago now. It's weird to think that, because it's...
One day, everything the horror touches will be yours.
But now Resurrection is thrown out or not all of those movies are thrown out the window. This is starting fresh. Even Halloween 2 is thrown out the window.
It's starting right immediately after Halloween.
Which I love Halloween 2, but unfortunately, that kind of opened the door for some really bad plots to come later.
I love Return to Oz. That used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid, but I still loved it.
Yeah, that's a horror movie if you ask me. Especially when the lady with all the multiple heads. And the lady with the multiple heads.
Come on, the wheelies, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
They were the scariest part of that movie.
They all are. I would like to see more Oz movies, because there's a whole bunch that, like, even the movies we got were kind of mishmashes of the stories themselves, where they took a lot from one story and another and kind of made it into a movie. Because there's, like, 9 solid stories, I think, in the Oz movie, or books. And
yeah, I love Return to Oz. That's one of my favorites.
I even kind of liked the new Raimi one. It was alright.
Best family of all time, I'd have to say, is probably Gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
But, God, I love a lot of them. I
love Gremlins. I love Beetlejuice. I love Ghostbusters. There's just so much. I think Family Friendly was a lot better in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's why I think when we're seeing stuff like Stranger Things, we're really, like, looking forward to that, because that's when Family Friendly with kids, even, like, kids movies in the 80s, like The Goonies was awesome and stuff. So, like, nowadays, if the cast is going to be all children, I kind of cringe. But there are some exceptions. Stranger Things, those were both great.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking me back. But when movies in the 80s had a lot of children in them, this kid somehow knew how to act. I think maybe because things interact better with puppets than they do with CGI, maybe? I don't know. Or they just tried harder to find talented children.
I don't remember being scared of the Wicked Witch and Wizard of Oz.
I had my little cousin Chelsea. She was so afraid of the original Wizard of Oz Green Witch. She'd like freak out and hide behind the couch. I just laughed. I never thought that was scary, but at that point I'd already seen Freddy and Jason, so I don't know. I saw horror movies at a very young age.
Yeah, I started pretty young on horror, so it was tame by my esteemed horror standards.
My grandpa still tells me about how the thing from outer space, that part where he's on fire and he comes in, and that gave him nightmares even up till now. Every once in a while he says he still has nightmares from that.
I love, I think when it comes to introducing to horror, though, I love introducing the classics. I like to keep those classics alive. I also think those classics have become classics for a reason, and I think they're great for introducing younger generations. I love The Bad Seed. I love all the Universal Monster movies. A favorite of mine is The Incredible Shrinking Man. It's still amazing, even by today's standards.
It's very dark when you think about what's happening to him, too.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
So.
Monster Squad is great too. And Monster Squad, I remember thinking was
Squad.
such a kid's movie because I saw it when I was a kid, and then I rewatched it with my son, and
Foul
then
mouth.
Dracula calls the little girl bitch. I'm
Give
like,
me
what?
that amulet, you little bitch! And they totally sprang that on her too. She did not know what the scene was coming because they wanted a genuine frightened reaction from her, so they scared the shit out of her for that. And the kids are just foul mouthed as well. Like,
Oh yeah.
but that's how I was as a kid, so I related. That's why I like the new It too.
It's a little more honest though too, like in the new It movie, because when I was a kid, a lot of kids swore, especially where I grew up, because I grew up on a military base, so all the kids were foul mouthed little fuckers.
When the adults were away, the swears would be out to play. So I really related to that. That's my problem with the miniseries, is it was so watered down for TV.
Bye, Beth.
Like, I love Tim Curry and It, and I love the miniseries for a lot of reasons, but it was so watered down for, like, Stephen King, he writes filthy stuff, so...
Yeah, I relate to It because I was kind of like Bev when I was a kid. It was like a pack of boys, like my brothers and all of our friends who were all boys. We lived on a military base, so we could go wherever we wanted. There was, like, this old abandoned mansion. There was these woods. There was a whole area where trees had been knocked down by, like, lightning. And there's a whole bunch of areas to explore. There was, I lived in a place called New Cabrisfield. And old Cabrisfield was still there, but it had been burned down. So we had all these places, and we could, as long as we were home before the streetlights came on, we could do whatever the fuck we wanted. But it was just me and, like, a big pack of boys just doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Brian, yeah, you're right. In a sense, the witch really should have won that movie, but she is allergic to water to where it kills her. I mean... They honestly,
that's racist.
They honestly didn't need to show up. I mean, they just needed to wait. She lives in a castle without windows. Like, a rainstorm and a wind, would have taken her out. She was just bound to die. I mean, like, how do you wash a mogwai, too? Like,
you give them a dust bath.
Oh,
like
the
a
little,
Digo.
like the little rodent baths where you give them a little dust
like a
baths. If mogwais, they gotta be a lot different inside than we are because we're 80% water, right? So
I have a question. What stuff do you guys want to see on Horror Addicts? Because in Horror Addicts, we've done a lot of stuff. We've done Let's Plays, we've done news reports, we've done movie reviews, book reviews, reactions,
I think I'm gonna do
streams. I just want to ask them, what do you guys want to see more of? Or is there anything we haven't done that you want to see? What is your favorite content on this channel? Because we're always trying to grow and improve and put out content that you guys are going to enjoy.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do my first album review.
That's cool.
I'm going to do Guar's new album.
No, we haven't done music.
Yeah, so I'm going to start maybe do a couple of those. I also want to do just music videos. I'll just show little clips of them, but...
I've done 2 music videos.
What music videos did you?
The Ghouls Night Out one and then the Horror Extra, the ones that played.
No, I mean, I want to just say, like, these are just 10 awesome music videos that are horror related.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's cool.
I won't say which ones are best, and I won't say they're the top 10 of the best of all time, because I'll probably find 10 more that I want to do for a second video. But just 10 random, awesome horror movie related music videos, like Thriller and stuff like that. That one where Jason's going to the prom with Carrie.
Yes, I love that one. That was a really good one.
Kitty has a cool one where there's zombies, like stuff like that.
That's a really good idea.
And I have Beavis and Butthead masks, so I'm gonna get them to host it.
There's also tons that were like they were the soundtrack to a horror movie, like He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask, Alice Cooper. Mm-hmm. That has a music video for part 6.
Yeah.
So that would actually be really cool. I like that.
I'm gonna do 10 awesome videos.
We haven't done music before. Let us know what you guys think of that.
Brian, what do we think about 50s B giant monster films?
We fucking love them.
I can't get enough. We had Queen Crab not too long ago.
Yeah, my friend, my Derby sister, she teased me a while ago because, I mean, everyone, that's how I got my name. Everyone knew I was a big horror movie fan, and my son gave me the name because he wanted me to be scary. But yeah, I was kind of known as the horror movie girl in my roller derby league. So one of my friends told me that her uncle worked on Critters, and she's like, it was so disgusting. He gave me this like slime covered Critters prop, and it's in my garage somewhere. You can have it if you want. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I need this in my life. So I'm still waiting for her to go through her garage and find it for me.
Horror Addicts, the motion picture starring Vin Diesel. I don't know if Vin Diesel would capture me well. Actually, though, I do have a script for Horror Addicts, the movie. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking that's a huge wishful thinking on my part, but Angry Video Name Nerd and tons of YouTubers have movies, so why not?
Ariel, I want to do the Two Tales from the Crypt movies. I don't know if you guys have noticed my last couple of reviews, I've been doing bare bones reviews, which is basically a spoiler-free, should you see it or not, and some of the just basic gist of the movie. And then I've done these all the gory detail reviews where I pack them with trivia, I go into the movie in pretty in-depth detail. So I've been doing those for like the ones I just love, like Fright Night. I would do that for the Tales from the Dark Crypt movies. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know. Are you guys enjoying that stuff?
Yeah, PMR Barnes. Yeah, I wouldn't mind collaborating with you.
We love collaborating. We are really bad at coming up with ideas, but whenever anybody asks us to, we're like, yeah.
If you got an idea, let me know. Just shoot it to us, and we'll go from there.
Speaking of which, Wolfman Scott Nards is a great channel.
Yes, it is a good channel, and it's...
We do a boob count.
Usually. We mention if there's nudity, boobs, and other stuff that you see.
Yeah, our reviews typically, if it's a more in-depth review, will have the good, which is what we like, the bad, what we don't like, and the gory is the number of kills, the amount of nudity, if we liked the effects, how gory is it, how scary is it. So we usually cover the boobs.
Even in our lesser detailed reviews, we'll usually throw in that there is nudity or not, if there's... So.
Yeah, Fuego, but we don't talk about that third one. We don't talk about that one.
That one's cool because it's got Tim Curry in it, but that's about the only thing cool about that movie.
Yeah.
It's not... It's really just a really long episode.
Right now, I'm working on some in-depth reviews on Monkey Shines and Fright Night. And then I've got some bare bones reviews on Lemon Tree Passage. We're going to do Mom and Dad probably tomorrow. And I've got Narai the Curse. You're working on Zombieland?
Zombieland, Subspecies coming up soon. And then I want to do the review for Blood of the Gods by Gwar.
Yeah, Joe Bob's kind of my hero, so that's where the gory portion of our reviews came from, but it's a little more expanded into, like, some movies, like a paranormal movie, they're not known for nudity, so it's more of a, is it scary? Are the scares effective? I mean, that's what you want to know with a paranormal movie. If it's a slasher, definitely. How many boobs are in it? Does it drop dong? You know? Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. Does it meet your blood expectations? How gory is it? Are the kills good? How many people die?
I do my full moons. I usually mention who gets naked in it and not. So.
Yeah.
Joe Bob is definitely one of my heroes as well.
Sneeze.
I actually gave Joe Bob a screenplay one time. And I'm pretty sure he read it, but I think he was also expecting me to make the movie, which I had no means of doing.
Yeah, you're doing Subspecies soon.
Yeah.
Because there's a blue moon this month, our first blue moon.
Yeah, I need to buy some blue moon for it.
Oh, that'd be great.
You want to help me review it?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
We have a little sketch plan for that one that I wrote.
Well, I just want to know if you want to help either.
I don't write a lot of the sketches, but I did write one for Subspecies.
Yeah.
Deanne's more of the sketch master.
I usually am, but she
I'm
comes up with some good ideas.
the editing nerd and the trivia nerd.
Which I do edit too, but
we all bring something to the table.
There's some videos I do completely on my own. There's some she does completely on her own. There's some we collab on. But she does usually lead the pack when it comes to the editing abilities.
And usually, if it's a review we do on our own, like, we put a lot of work into this. We script them out first. But if it's just the two of us, it's just us bullshitting about fucking movies. And those are easy, because it's just easy talking to you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I remember a long time ago, like, just a couple of months, since it's our 3rd year birthday, there's one point, though, where she's like, I'll be on your show, but I'm not editing any videos.
Dongs for Gory. I actually want the movie to be called Dongs for Gory. I actually have an Instagram account called Gory Draws Dongs, where I draw lots of horror characters as dongs.
And then she started experimenting with some software that we hadn't used yet, and she edited Spring. And then she decided she actually liked editing, so she was really good at it. So.
Oh wait, that's not it.
Stuck
I don't know.
around.
They're around here somewhere.
If you go back and watch her first episode, which was 3 years ago today, is Tusk. It was on like Windows Movie Maker, and there was hardly editing. Any editing was done to it.
I remember the first time we figured out how to add a picture to a video. So yeah, do you guys have any questions about YouTube? Because I mean, we have a long ways to go still, especially on our audio. That's something I've talked to a lot of other creators about. I need to improve our audio situation. But, I mean, we've come a long way if you watch our earlier videos from where we started. So if you guys have any questions about YouTube, we are happy to answer those. We are going to do I'm really excited. We're going to do a horror tube workshop at Cryptic-con this year with Count Jacula and the Horror Guru. Yeah. That's going to be a blast. We love Cryptic-con.
Yeah. Brian says if he was rich, he would do a movie called Dongs for Gory.
I commented on it. He wants to do a movie called Dongs for Gory, but I want a movie called Dongs for Gory.
Killer Dongs from Outer Space. That's probably already a movie. Have you guys seen One-Eyed Monster with Ron Jeremy? They go up into a cabin in the woods, and then Ron Jeremy's penis becomes sentient, detaches itself from him, and starts killing everybody.
Truth.
You want a movie about a killer dog?
Oh my god, our freaking Twitter.
Oh, we got in trouble with Twitter recently.
We got locked out again.
Again?
Uh-huh.
Oh, great. We got in trouble with Twitter not too long ago because we are subscribed to 666 people. And
apparently someone reported it because they were offended.
They're offended by our subscriber count.
Yes.
There was nothing else wrong, and it was restored, but now there's a problem again. Apparently, you cannot have a certain amount.
Well, now it's saying that there's a security issue, and I have to reset my password.
Okay, well
so they don't care about that.
Yeah, that's nothing important. But yeah, you can't be subscribed to 666 people without ruffling some feathers, apparently. I wonder if anybody gets in trouble if they're subscribed to 69 people or 420 people.
I know, right? I've seen people post like naked photos and stuff on Twitter.
It's actually rated MA, like 18 or whatever. It's not rated T for teen. It's rated mature. So.
Thank you, Brian. We like to think that we're growing. I watch a lot of our old videos. And I'm like, whoa. But we still got a long way to go. So we're also, if you guys have any advice for us, we're always open to that too.
Yep.
We're always trying to grow and be better.
Even before Gory made Spring, I was testing around a couple other ones. Like, what was that other After Image? Used that one to do a couple of them. It was a little better than Movie Maker, but it still sucked. It was such a pain in the ass for so little reward. But so now we're doing good now. Gory keeps coming up with better ways to do things.
Yeah.
And I always have to play catch up, so it's like, God damn it. It's hard.
Nice. I'm excited. I heard we're going to get a Soska Sisters autograph and bandbox, the next one.
We got Babysitter Twins last time. That was cool.
Yeah.
I met them at my first Cryptic-con. I was just there. I wasn't a panelist or anything. I was just there. We didn't have a show yet. I actually didn't even know Gory yet. And I got a picture with them. I was dressed up like a teen wolf.
Sorry, I think Cecil's here and I had to say hi. Sorry, go ahead.
I was dressed up like a teen wolf, and the Babysitter Twins, they got their picture with me, and they didn't charge me or anything. It was awesome. I edited a weird background to make us look at the full moon bar or whatever. But the picture was real, and they're awesome, so I felt bad I didn't buy an autograph. Now we got one, though.
Yeah. Hey, Maven's here. Guys, definitely check out Nightmare Maven's channel, too.
Go subscribe to her. She could use it. She's awesome. She's got great reviews. Great unboxings as well. She's a fun gal.
Review on Halloween. I don't know if we could do it on Halloween, if that's what you're talking about. PM our bones, because we got stuff.
Review on Hallows Eve.
Oh, it's probably a movie.
Yeah, on Hallows Eve.
The anthology movie?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind reviewing that
So,
with you.
P.M.R. Bones, if you do like the Hallows Eve anthology, and there's a second one, the clown from the first one,
He's in most of the little skits.
He's got his own movie coming out in, I think, February. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, death? No way. What happened? I don't know. Now I'm curious.
Huh.
She's like, wow, no way. Wow, no way what?
No, I don't know. Something we said or something somebody else said.
Something shocking happened.
Oh, Cryptic-con. Oh, I think you're talking about Cryptic-con.
Oh. Yay, hope to see you at Cryptic-con. Thank you.
Doc's got a cool schlock bin and all kinds of funny movies where he rips on. If you want to check out his. Doc, I just think, yeah, basically, if you upgraded your equipment, you would have a hit show going on there. Prove the content of your videos. Fix what? No, I'm broken. Oh, Doc, you're hilarious and you're very charismatic. Give yourself a little too cred. Plus, on my other channel, I always, me and Doc, we have this fun thing where we bet on who's going to win pro wrestling events, and then the loser usually gets some sort of hilarious punishment.
I was the loser last time.
I know. Gory ate a spicy pickle.
It sucked.
You guys don't have to go check out my channel if you don't want to, but you do if you want to see Gory eating a spicy pickle.
No, don't. It's gross. And there was like a saliva thing that happened. It was nasty. Nasty. So what questions do you guys have? Do you have questions about horror? You have questions about YouTube? Q&As?
Q&A.
Why do I have the allergy? Oh, because the cat's in here. Stretch bigs.
Cat's gonna mess with your allergies.
Gonna get up in there with the furs. Are any of you going to Cryptic-con this year? Shout out Cryptic-con.
Any of you in Washington State area?
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do some panels. We're gonna do a workshop. It's gonna be awesome.
The only problem with Cryptic-con is it's the same weekend as Texas Frightmare.
Which is why a lot of... What are we drinking? I'm drinking some Pie Hole, and he's got some wine.
I got Banished dark red wine.
We need more wine.
There's more wine downstairs. It's not as cool.
You said you were gonna get it, though.
Merry Krampus.
You said you were gonna get it.
You want me to go get it right now?
Yeah, dude.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, I fixed it,
Oh,
though.
the Twitter thing, yeah. And the 666, yeah, you're not allowed to have that.
That was dumb. They fixed it. I don't think it actually goes against their policies. It's just someone reported it, and if you report something, they immediately restrict your account until they have a chance to investigate it. So there was like a whole day where our account was restricted, and it looked like we unfollowed a whole bunch of people, and so people were upset with us, but whatever. Fixed it like a boss. I have a question for you guys. What was the first Horror Addicts video you ever saw? Like, how long have you guys been watching the show? Hi, Mandy! Thank you. Hey, Brocky. I would love it if you guys like conventions. See, personally, I mean, I'm very introverted, so conventions are a little difficult for me, but I love Cryptic-con because it's a smaller convention, so you actually get to talk to the celebrities there. You can actually have one-on-one conversations with the people who are there. We're panelists there, which is really nice, and we've been going for the last 5 years, so it's kind of like horror summer camp. So we see the same faces every year, and it's just wonderful to see these old friends. And what I love about the horror community is I feel like I can go up to anybody there, even somebody I've never met, and we can have a conversation because we have this thing in common, this thing that people don't commonly understand that bonds us. And so it feels really great. It feels like you fit in, which for somebody who used to be a dorky goth girl in high school, that feels pretty good. And this year, I mean, I love talking on the panels. I love talking horror. And this year, we're also, for the first time, we're going to be doing workshops at Cryptic-con. So they're kind of changing things up a bit. And I'm very excited for this Horror Tube workshop we're doing. And we got them to bring up Horror Guru and Count Jacula. So we're going to talk about how to start a Horror Tube channel and market it and kind of what goes into it. We're going to talk about our different processes. It's going to be so much fun. And I love those guys, but I've never met them in person, so that's going to be amazing.
Paul
Hi,
says
honey.
he hopes you're not drunk.
I'm not drunk. Yeah, horror conventions are great. I wish we had more opportunities to go to horror conventions, but Cryptic-con has been amazing. Aw, PMR Bones' first one was The Craft.
His first what?
I asked people what their first Horror Addicts video was, or their...
You did a really good job on the Craft one, so.
Thank you. It's my younger days. I kind of want to do a video one of these days just for us.
Yeah.
Like showing like our, clips from our videos so we can see like how our editing's changed, and more importantly, how crazy our hair has changed over the year. We have some changeable hair.
Yeah.
Good point, Zachary Haith. Are we safe from the YouTube restrictions? Horror Addicts is safe. Our smaller channels were, but we're not too worried about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we're mostly concerned about how this is affecting the horror community. And I'm also concerned because it used to be that the bar was for monetization was a little bit lower. So if they keep pushing it up and pushing it up, it's a matter of time before it affects channels like us who are not huge channels by any means. So
yeah, we survived this round of Jenga, but doesn't mean we'll
Yeah.
survive the next. So keep trying to pull it out.
But mostly how this is affecting creators that we love, like Screaming Soup, like Brian Barnes, like Nightmare Maven, like Homicidal Homemaker. I mean, that's all part of our family. So we have been watching a playlist nonstop with these creators' videos on them. We have been promoting the hell out of their channel because we've got 30 days to get these creators to 1K. So if you are on Twitter, please check out the channels we're promoting. We're not just promoting these channels because, they're our friends. These are creators who are making quality content that we really are behind, that we really put our stamp on. So if you guys like us, I think you guys would like the creators that we're promoting.
Some of them are in the chat room right now. They are our friends as well, though. That's
the wonderful part about it is that we admire them as creators, but they're also awesome people that we're friends with.
Yeah, I'd watch their show even if I didn't know them personally.
A lot of these shows I watched before I had a channel. I remember I watched Screaming Soup before we had a channel.
And they contacted us. They put us on an episode that had a horror guru, Bloodbath and Beyond, and Brian Barnes.
That was awesome.
That was cool. And then later we did a big collab with them with Goobers. So, on our channel.
Here's a question for you from me.
Mm-hmm.
What are, because we've worked with a lot of really awesome YouTubers, what are some YouTubers you would love to work with? That we have not worked with yet.
Oh, Cinemassacre. I'd love to work with Angry
That-
Video Game Nerd.
my brother-
James from Angry Video Game Nerd.
My brother has met James Rolfe because he's come up here for a game con. That would be hella cool. I do love James Rolfe. I also think Dr. Wolfia.
Oh, Dr.
I love him so much.
Yeah, he'd be great.
They're like on this like higher tier of HorrorTube that I've never even gotten a chance to talk to him, but that'd be hella cool.
Homicidal Homemaker has been on your Ghouls Night, but I would still like to do something like a little different with her.
Well, obviously, I would like to do more stuff with our friends that we already have. I just mean like YouTubers HorrorTubers we don't know that we would like to get to know and work with.
Not all of them are like horror. I'd love to do something with like Epic Mealtime where they made some sort of like graveyard lasagna and just go to town on that. Bring in Canadian Jason to pour, because they are Canadians themselves, and just pour a bunch of maple syrup on it and stuff.
And I'd love to meet Andre Meadows, Black Nerd.
Yes.
I mean,
I would review him about his time on Sharknado 4.
Yes.
There you go. I would interview him
him
on that. He was in a horror movie, technically. So. But I would like to meet Black Nerd and talk to him.
Bring your little one. Actually, last year, Death, Lols was the youngest panelist there. So I don't know if we'll bring him again this year, but, you know, there's a lot of times there are kids there, so.
I'm pretty sure he's the youngest panelist they've ever had.
I think so.
But there are a bunch of kids there, too, as well. So, especially because they had Matthew Lillard, who's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, that one especially, it brought in a younger crowd. And he got to meet Matthew Lillard, and that was, like, what made his day.
Oh, my gosh, right?
Yes, it was the Screaming Soup Frankenhooker episode. They mentioned that. That was the episode we were on.
Matt wants to know who's your favorite Hammer Scream Queen.
Hammer Scream Queen? Oh, I don't know.
I don't think I would know
that.
either. I'd have to think about it.
I'd have to go in and see some...
I like the Hammer films, but I don't know if I could name any of the Final Girls by name. I mean, I know Peter Cushing, and I know Christopher Plummer, but I don't think I'm versed enough in Hammer to be able to name it. I'm slightly more of a Universal girl.
I have a role in mind, but I have to go look up her name and stuff. So I don't know. I'd have to
what was
double-check
that? What was that Frankenstein one? The crazy Frankenstein one.
I don't know.
Okay, there is one I kind of have in mind. Alright, I might have an answer for you. The woman who was in Frankenstein Created Woman. What's her name? I like her. What's her name? Alright, well that's my answer. The woman who was in Frankenstein Created Woman.
There we go.
There.
I'm gonna say that one as well. Though, I was thinking of a werewolf one earlier. But oh well. Maybe Kiss of the Vampire. No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll go with that. But I know, James from Sematary, he loves the Hammer ones. I'd like to do something with him.
He loves Universal. He loves Hammer.
He loves doing skits. He loves doing
He loves
reviews.
pretty much everything before 1990.
So he would be great to work with. The dream, making it on YouTube, I guess. Certainly don't want to do anything with that Logan Paul guy.
Don't create controversy. We try to keep this channel controversy free.
There's some YouTubers I wouldn't want to work
Yeah,
with.
now
Either
for all you know, our whole fan base is low gang, and they're all unsubscribed now. Way to flipping go, Daniel.
It's true. They are.
I don't know.
I also wouldn't mind doing like an after hours with Cracked or something, and they're hilarious. I feel like with Cracked though, they did this really cool after hours where they talked about how all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are in the Terminator universe, and they're all just basically a program that the Terminator in T2 is going through before T2. They all take place with that, and they had all these great reasons of why that was. They're all simulations, but they didn't mention the best movie that proved their theory, Maggie.
Did you know that there is a theory, speaking of weird universe theories, there's a theory that Get Out and Being John Malkovich are in the same universe. Apparently Keener's in both of them.
Okay. I never thought about that until now, but I'm not going to...
And that's fun.
Yeah, it does, actually. But yeah, they're talking about in Cracked how Arnold is a robot, and he's got to sympathize for humans because the rebels reprogrammed him, and they run all these simulations of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where he's got to protect people, and usually he's up against something bigger and stronger than himself to protect him. Almost all the movies fit that, but they didn't mention Maggie, which he protects his daughter, who's a zombie, and the robots look at humans in the Terminator virus like a plague, a virus. That's how humans look at zombies. That was the perfect example for their thing, and they didn't mention that. But oh well. I still agree with them on their theory.
I like Cracked.
Yeah, Cracked's good. They used to have a lot of cooler shows too, like on their channel where they had like superpowers and stuff, but most of those got taken away.
I have a question for you. So when we were kids, they made animated shows of just about everything.
Almost
they were
everything.
going to make an animated show of Aliens. They made an animated show of Ghostbusters. They made an animated show of Beetlejuice. Was very different than the movie, but I love it. What is an animated show we never got, but you're totally all about?
Trimmers.
That would be fun.
I also wanted Trimmers action figures. I wanted a big rubber worm that would eat my little Kevin Bacon action figure.
Here's my pitch. I want an animated kids show called Horror Friends. It's kind of like Muppet Babies. It's got about 4th grade age Freddy Krueger, like South Park. Freddy Krueger, Jason, they all go to school and they're all buddies and they all kill people in their free time.
Yeah, I guess their classes would
Pennywise would be like the weird new kid.
It'd be kind of like Our Real Monsters where the classes are about scaring and killing kids. But, yeah, I would love that.
They go to a school kind of like Hogwarts for horror villains.
See, that's the thing with like sequels and reboots and stuff, and like you're saying like a lot of sequels are made just to make money, and I agree, and that's why some of them suck. But there will always be that great idea of a sequel because we love the character so much, we want more of that character, you know?
And that's the thing, like, you don't want these stories to die, because like we said, it's that oral history, and in a way, movies are a part of that, and when you make a new movie, you're keeping that character alive in the consciousness, you're keeping it going on for another generation, you're inspiring them, and like we're seeing right now with Stranger Things, and a lot of things that are 80s throwbacks, like It, those were guys who grew up in the 80s watching horror movies, and now they're making movies in tribute to what they love. And if we keep making these remakes, the good ones will inspire younger generations, and when they grow up to be our age, those characters will live on in new movies, which I like that idea.
I mean, as we mentioned, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 could just be them playing cards or something. We'd still like it just because we like those characters so much.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with a lot of these movies. Like, it's very hard for me to review some of the big franchise movies. It was very hard for me to review Cult of Chucky because as a movie, I don't think it was a very good movie.
But we love Chucky.
I think it had a lot of flaws. But here's the thing. I love Chucky. I love the character. I love Brad Dourif. I love that there's multiple Chuckys. I love Chucky's humor. And so it's like, on a Chucky scale, it's a fucking 10 because I love Chucky. As a movie, it wasn't that great of a movie, and he wants out.
Kitty cat.
So it's really hard because I always welcome seeing these characters again, particularly when they are portrayed by the actors that made them great.
And the thing about the Chucky movies is there's some flaws in some of them, but I love how it's become like a passion project from the people who love Chucky and make Chucky.
And Final Guy said, all movies are made to make money, and that is true, but it's what is the driving force. There's a big difference from movies that are made like The Mummy. The Mummy was made, they're like, oh, that Marvel Universe is getting a lot of attention, that Marvel Universe is making a lot of money. That was created by a bunch of guys in a boardroom saying, how can we make a lot of money here?
Exactly.
Whereas you take a movie like Get Out. Now, Get Out made a lot of money, and obviously Jordan Peele wanted to be successful, but that movie was created around passion. That was created around wanting to tell a story. Yeah. And the best movies begin that way. It should begin with a story. Yeah, you want your movie to be successful, but it should always begin with passion. It should always begin with story.
Indeed. Like how you're talking about with John Carpenter, when he did Big Trouble in Little China.
Absolutely.
He wanted to make a great movie, but the studio, which I'm sure they threw more money in his stuff, like to make the movie, but he had to deal with the studio, and that wasn't what it was about.
Yeah.
So he made his own movie otherwise, The Prince of Darkness, without the studio. And yes, there was less money to be made and less money to be put into the movie, but he got to make it the way he wanted to make it.
That's the problem, is sometimes these studios and the producers particularly, sometimes you will have that passion, you'll have that vision with the writer or perhaps the director, and then the studio comes along and they're like, well, wait a second, that's not going to work. I think the best example I know of this in recent history is The Final Girls. The Final Girls was written by two men who were very passionate about horror. They made this, love letter to horror films, and yes, the original script had nudity, it had tons of gore in it. But when they pitched it to the studio, they said, you know what? Horror fans are primarily men, and they don't care about a relationship between a girl and his mother, or and her mother. They don't want that. They just want blood and titties, which is not true. That's
women. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a very one-dimensional way of looking at men. And then they said that women don't like horror movies, which is complete and total bullshit. So they said, you can have it one way or the other. Either change the characters. They wanted them to change the mom to like a boyfriend and market it towards men, or keep your movie, but we're going to take out the blood and the nudity, and hopefully maybe some women will catch it on VOD. They also didn't put it out in theaters because they didn't think it would be successful. And that is fucking bullshit. That is producer and studio meddling with an artist's work.
Thankfully, the writing and directing still had enough passion to make it a good movie, but I think it could have been an even better movie if there wasn't so much meddling. Good night, Late Horror Show.
Hi.
And Screaming Soup, no, that is in my... that's into my to-watch list. I've really checked out some of those episodes.
Which one?
The Toys That Made Us. They have a He-Man. They have a bunch of other, like...
Oh, I'd love to see that.
It's about all the 80s toys that made us. And that's why nowadays a grown man like me is wearing a Gizmo shirt. Where that wasn't a thing until our generation, really. So...
Also, I think censor meddling messes up stuff a lot.
Oh,
I love hearing, there's some great books by Tom Savini. Tom Savini, I can't remember the names of the books. He's put out 2 great books on how he's done a lot of the gore and creature effects that he's done in film. And I think it must be, well, I know from listening to the commentaries and behind-the-scenes features, it's incredibly frustrating when you pull off this magic of making this perfect kill, making this perfect creature, and then the studio says it's too scary. Unless you want a rated X or an NC-17, you can't put that in a movie. And then we have these movies that are fantastic. I loved Friday the 13th, The New Blood, but that movie got cut to shit, and it's completely unfair because I've read... the script and such, and what was in there originally is so awesome. I wish I could have seen it.
Especially with those old 80s and 90s films, because they didn't have a whole lot of unrated director's cuts back then. So that's really, really is a crim. Nowadays, thankfully, you can usually get an unrated DVD or Blu-ray, But
Yeah.
it's still a shame that they do that, because he could have had, like, the most perfect kill. They could have edited, like, oh my god, that looked amazing, but, all the censors will come on and say, we need to get rid of that.
To a degree, the censors are getting more lenient. We can get away with a lot more in movies now, but even in it, I know there was a very controversial scene where Pennywise eats a baby that they're like, yeah, no. And maybe they were right in that, because that is pretty hardcore. But I wanted to see it, and I'm glad that we're getting a director's cut of that later this year.
Well, as I was mentioning Anthropophagus earlier, the one movie I want to remake, there's a part where he reaches up a pregnant woman and pulls out her fetus and eats it in front of her. That is way too extreme for most people, but it doesn't mean it doesn't need to exist in some movies for others, because sometimes you need to push that line.
I would really love an uncut Friday the 13th Part 7, and what really upsets me about the Friday the 13th films is we've had the Camp Crystal Lake collection that came out on DVD. We've had numerous releases individually of the movies, and we have yet to get a collection, even the last big Blu-ray collection that has every special feature that's been made available, every commentary that's been made available into one set. I don't know if we're going to get that with the collections coming out later this year, but I'm hoping for the best.
Hope for the best, but don't count on it.
I mean, I have enjoyed the uncut releases that have been coming out. They at least look really good, and they have a lot of the special features.
There's less movies, so it wasn't as much of a problem, but the same thing goes kind of with the Evil Dead franchise. Like, different studios own different things, so they don't work together on making a great box set, you know?
Then again, sometimes, like, you know, there's the killer cut of Jason Goes to Hell. I remember for years, like, this elusive copy of Halloween Part 6, the producer's cut, and I'd heard about it, I'd read parts of the script online, and I'm like, that sounds great, yeah, sign me up. And then it comes out, and I'm just like, the fuck? Now, I will say it has better atmosphere, and there's a lot of parts of it that are better, but there are some parts of it that are just really
overall,
weird.
It's a worse movie. They take out the really great kill of her character, what's her name? But then they, replace it where she just gets snuffed in the hospital, very anticlimactic. There's also a part where she gets raped by Uncle Michael.
I didn't like that. But then again, the original one had some, or the theatrical one had some very bad, almost music video trailer type cutting. Neither one's great. The editing is better in the producer's cut.
It's edited better, but it's a worse movie.
Somewhere in between, there is a good movie, I think.
It could have, but like you said, we were heard about this forever. It was like the Holy Grail, and when we got it, it was more like Capone's vault.
We were so excited.
Lock it back up.
No. Hey Sandra, I met her the other day over on channel Sundown. You guys need to check that out. It's in my featured channels. It's a good show.
Nice.
Yeah, Event Horizon was another one that was heavily edited, and it was really cool because I remember that movie scared the hell out of me when I first saw it in middle school. And there are a couple scenes there where it's cut really, really, really tight. But if you look at those individual frames, there's some pretty gory stuff in there. And all those scenes were cut. I would love to see those in a director's cut where all those scenes are fully added back in. Because I think Event Horizon gets an unfair shake. I think it's a really good movie. I like it. It's not for everybody, I guess. But I do enjoy it.
We go really far back, and unfortunately so much real footage was lost and never securely safely kept and stuff. All those old black and white films, especially a lot of them burned away and just.
And that's unfortunate. We've lost a lot of old movies. The Lon Chaney, not Lon Chaney Jr. What is the name of that movie? You know which one I'm talking about.
Phantom of the Opera?
Not Phantom of the Opera, but he looks like the Phantom of the Opera.
No, yeah, okay, I know it. Oh, it's escaping me right now, but I know what you're talking about.
I'm having a total brain fart. I'll think of it later.
But I always hate when that happens, especially, like I said, before DVD even existed and director's cuts were a thing. VHS, even movies made back then, a lot of those extra footage was just thrown away and ruined.
Well,
that's why you don't get a lot of uncut.
It's not horror. That's why we've lost Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, that one kills me to this day. Is that there are so many episodes of Beavis and Butthead that will never be released on DVD or anything because MTV took the prints and burned them on fire.
So bullshit.
And Mike Judge, when he did do the season back in 2011, he did one season more for them. It was called Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead. He had full control. Before that, it was MTV's Beavis and Butthead, and they had all the control. And he told Trey Parker when they were making South Park, do not let them have that. When I signed with Fox for King of the Hill, I put in my contract that I would have some control. You couldn't destroy my art. even if you don't broadcast it, even if you don't do this, you can't destroy my art. And so Trey Parker really listened to that advice. And I just hate when anybody destroys any art like that intentionally. It's like, oh.
That's really upsetting because someone put their heart and soul into that. And just because somebody didn't get it doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve to exist. It doesn't mean it won't find its audience. And it doesn't mean that later audiences won't embrace it.
Exactly. And that's why I feel bad when you're talking about like Tom Savini and other stuff who they made these awesome kills and worked so hard on these creatures and monsters and blood and effects just for it to get hacked and thrown away, you know? Nowadays, we usually get cool director's cuts and behind-the-scenes stuff, but you didn't get that a lot before DVD.
Well, so. And especially with the really old films, like from the 30s and the 40s and stuff before home video, they didn't see the reason to save that stuff because what was the point? You played it in the theater and that was it. A few collectors had a few things, but nobody owned a movie. I remember seeing a documentary, and it was about Abbott and Costello, and she was talking about But Abbott Lucas stuff. She was talking about her dad, Costello, was a huge fan of gadgets and technology, and that if she could go to him and show him a DVD, a Blu-ray, even a VHS tape, and say, this is a movie that I can watch right now, it would have blown his mind. And I think that's so cool, but you have to understand that's the time they lived in, and so there was no reason to save it, and unfortunately that's why we lost so much stuff. And even in the beginning of the home video era in the 80s, I don't think they were really truly appreciating it, because even when we had home video on VHS, there wasn't special features. So what was the point of saving deleted footage? Exactly. That's the movie, that's the way it is. Yeah. We didn't get special features to the mass degree that we do now until DVD, and that wasn't until much, much later. And now directors know, save everything, because there's nothing else you can put out on the DVD.
Yeah. I do appreciate that. There's like unrated versions almost everything and stuff, because just because it might not make it to theaters doesn't mean someone can't enjoy it.
Yay! Entertainment Wizard is getting more subscribers, guys. Check out Entertainment Wizard. That is a great channel. Do we like the Phantasm movies? Actually, we do. I really love our Patreon family, Horror Addicts Anonymous, because they directly give us a lot of movie ideas. And one of our Patreons, Mike Finn, has actually asked for Phantasm 2. It is not like we're not going to just jump to Phantasm 2. We got to start from the beginning. But yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to start tackling those here really soon. And if you guys want to join our horror family on Patreon, we try to offer as much as we can. We offer bonus videos. We have a Patreon movie night. They give us suggestions. They get to be a part of polls. They get to see our entire schedule for the month, so they know what's coming out for the entire month ahead of time. Bloopers videos, tons of stuff. Anyway, the lowest package on there is like only $1, so you can join the horror family for the price of a cup of coffee. I sound like a fucking infomercial now.
Price of a coffee, you can save an Ethiopian horror fan.
PMR Bones is in our horror family, but yeah, it's a pretty tight group. It's a good group.
We really appreciate anybody who watches
and
our
essentially,
channel, so.
I feel like Patreon. I mean, a lot of people say it as like, you know, you're just trying to beg money for stuff, but our channel is largely demonetized, so if it weren't for Patreon, it'd be really hard for us to make the time to make these videos. Going. Absolutely. And I view it as they're producers. They're people who believe in the content we're making, and they're helping fund it. So that's just like a producer of a movie. So
we've put way more money into our channel than we've made off of it as well, so we really appreciate any help we ever get.
Leatherface is actually really interesting. I mean, because I have kind of a different perspective on that. My cousin, Seth Sherwood.
Part 3.
Yes. Yeah, I know Leatherface Part 3 had an underrated version, but Leatherface, the one that we just had, a lot of people kind of criticized it, but a lot was cut out of that script. A lot. And even a lot that was filmed was cut out. So I'm really hoping we get a director's cut of that, because that movie was cut up pretty bad, the new Leatherface that came out. Same with Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Or Part 3. God. Alcohol. What surprises me about that one is, even though that's such a popular franchise, we still don't have a fucking Blu-ray of it.
No. That's actually one of my favorite. Both Leatherfaces are high on my sequel list of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
I can't believe there's not a Blu-ray. I can't believe there's not. I mean, having a box set is hard when you've got multiple studios participating in a project, but they've made it work with other franchises, so make it work. But if nothing else, get me my Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 on Blu-ray. I want that on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, I think Leatherface, that had the most brutal Leatherface of any of them, maybe other than the reboot. But damn.
Final Guys asked if we ever made any short films or attempted fiction. I've actually written a book that I'm still in the process of kind of cleaning up and having beta readers go through. But yeah, I wrote a book. So hopefully when I'm done polishing it, I want to send it to some agents and stuff and hopefully try to get it traditionally published. But if not, then yeah, I'll put it on Kindle.
Mm-hmm. We have a couple short films on our channel. There's the second video ever we made was Fat Freddy Krueger or whatever, Fat Freddy. There's also some Canadian Jason short films.
You've written some scripts?
I've written some screenplays. Written some screenplays. Like I said earlier when we were talking about Joe Bob Riggs, I actually gave him a screenplay that I wrote directly for him, and he enjoyed it, but he expected me to make the movie, which I can't do.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to know that I wrote that, and if it ever does get made, that he was in mind for it.
But I have to say, writing books is by no means an easy way to make money. I think it's actually easier to make money on YouTube. Not necessarily through YouTube. It's just YouTube, you can do merch, you can do Patreon. There are a lot of other areas where you can kind of get money. With writing a book, one, it takes a long fucking time. I can tell you that much. You also, these days, when it comes to traditionally publishing your book, they want people who can market stuff. Like my cousin Seth, who wrote the Leatherface movie, he was turned down a lot because he didn't have a big Twitter following. So they want people who can market, and even if you do self-publish, then you definitely need to have marketing. I do have a friend who's a very successful self-published author, but she's fantastic at that because she does web design and stuff. So, I mean, it's certainly a challenge, and that's why I'm really trying to polish up this book, because I believe that when a book or a movie is released to the public, it belongs to them. And you can't, I don't think it's fair to George Lucas it and change it after the fact. So when I release my book, that's it. There's no more meddling. But I want to make sure I've done everything with it I want to do before I get to that point. And it's a fiction book. It's a werewolf book.
Yes.
Because I do love me some werewolves, and it's got exactly what I want to see in horror. It's like I'm always saying, make the horror movie or book you want to see. So I made a werewolf book that's got a kick-ass mom character in it.
Mm-hmm. My screenplays are fiction as well. I did have one called The Kill 'Em All Boys, where it was it's based on a true story. Really, really is based on a true story where this ranger infiltrated some illegal poachers, and that was in the newspaper and everything. And I looked up more of the whole story. That one, I guess, is slightly nonfiction, but it's still, somewhat fiction.
Final Guys, I would love, maybe I've read some of your stuff. I read a lot of horror books. So, what's your pen name or your name? Love to check out your book sometime.
Mm-hmm. Hit us up. We got a great little horror community.
Yeah, I have a lot of author friends. I have friends who are very successful, like Ronald Malfoy, people who've done smaller publishing things like Craig DeLuey, Timothy Long, and everyone's had very different experiences. My friend Michelle Kilmer is self-published, but she's doing very, very well because she's just fantastic at networking and going to conventions and stuff. So it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's the easy route, but yeah, it works really well for some people. My friend Hunter Shea is great too.
Yep. Our friend Ronnie Angel is self-published, but he did really well with his 2 slasher books. The Ultimate Guide to Slashers. So check those books out on Amazon if you ever get a chance.
But I mean, even with YouTube, there's a lot of marketing and stuff. So it's, I don't know. I don't think anything's ever easy with art.
No, if you want to be in a successful manner anyways. But
I mean, yeah. It's hard.
I mean, if you just want to make good art that you enjoy, that's pretty easy. But getting others to buy your art, no, that's a trick.
Jason Brandt. I will look you up, dude. That's how, actually, Jason, the reason I know all these authors is because I used to have a book blog called Books Are Delicious. So, like, a lot of people would send me their books, and I actually got to meet quite a few really cool authors that way. So, yeah, I love following, like, indie authors.
All right, he's ribbing on Hunter Shea, but I think that's because it's his podcast partner.
Aww. Oh, yeah, I do know you. Holy shit, I know him.
Okay.
Yeah, I know him. He's the other guy in Monster Man. I know you. I know you. I didn't know you wrote books too. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome that a lot of people have been able to do really well getting books on. I mean, that's one thing I think is really cool is I remember when I was a kid, and I'm not that old, but when I was a kid, the idea of making a movie that people would see seemed so far-fetched. The idea, I mean, of writing a book, like, you know, like people I looked up to, like Stephen King, like that seemed such an unattainable dream, such a high area to reach. And these days, if you really want to create art, if you really want to write, you know, you can get an audience for it. You can self-publish. Nobody is stopping you. We have YouTube now. If you want to be a horror host, go be a horror host. You want to make a movie, you can, you know, make a movie on your own now. Everybody, you know, has the ability with just a freaking DSLR. I mean, some fantastic movies have even been made on people's freaking, like, basic cameras. So.
I've been filming myself since I was 12 years old on video homemade cameras for like we made little short films, me and my friends. I remember one of those first short films I made, like with a friend's, this killer was attacking us and he was using icicle to impale my friend and I was the killer. I was really breaking the icicle with my other hand, but you can't see, so it really looked like I shoved it all the way into him. Thank you, Jason Takes Omega.
No, Jason, I swear to God, I've seen you on Monster Men. There's like the two guys on there, and then they have another guy who's on there pretty regularly with like really like I've seen him. He's got really good hair.
Jason Takes Omega wishes happy birthdays.
Thank you, Jason. Jason Brand, you've been on Monster Men, right? Like they've had you on as a guest a lot. I'm telling you, I know who he is.
Maybe you don't.
I do. Okay.
Maybe he doesn't want you to know.
I think so. Because there's Hunter, there's the other guy he's with, and then they regularly have a lot of people on their show.
I really need to go find those old tapes and figure out a way to get those onto the computer. Like they're old millimeter tapes.
But yeah, like when we were kids, you watch a movie like Ghostbusters, and you're like, God, I could never do that. But these days, I mean, hell, anybody can make a good story. Like look at Never Hike Alone. That's fantastic. That didn't take a lot of production value to make a good Jason movie.
Yeah, it's just fan fiction, but it's still great.
Fantastic.
I have a few fan fiction scripts that I wrote, like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is an old Sega and Super Nintendo video game, and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, my primary passion since I was young was writing stories. I have published a few short stories and such, and articles. I do a lot of freelance writing, but I haven't done a novel yet, so that is my big life goal. So it's my baby, and I'm trying to take care of it. I feel like writing, it's kind of like, it's like when you send your kids off to college. You want to try to get them into good schools, and you hope that they have a good life. And
she's too critique of herself. She needs to cut that cord. Let the baby grow on.
Well, I have other projects I want to work on, so I need to kick it out of the nest, but it's hard. It's my first one.
I know. I don't know. They're old, like, just little 8mm handheld tapes from back in the day. I could figure it out. I just need to get the equipment and the time to do so. I'm just so busy all the time. I have some of them even on VHS, because my friend, he had a camcorder that took VHSs. We did not have digital awesome cameras back then. I wish we did. They totally have been. Yeah. If I would have grown up now, like with the equipment then, all my old videos and weird stuff. We also did, I can't condone it, but we did a lot of backyard wrestling as well. We filmed almost everything we did back then. And some of that stuff, like we made fake commercials, just little short films, all kinds of weird stuff. Mystery Science Theater, weird things, all kinds of things.
But yeah, if you guys are interested in that, on my blog, I posted like the first chapter or two. Books are delicious, and I've done lots of streams talking about that in depth. So there's a lot of stuff out there. The title for my book, Dongs, it has a title. But Dongs is a great book I should write. It'll be a picture book.
Yeah, a pop-up book.
I have an Instagram called Gory Draws Dongs. Maybe I'll put them into a book.
Yeah. Make a pop-up book out of it.
God damn it, I really want tacos now. Thank you, Ariel.
Yeah.
Doesn't tacos sound amazing right now?
It does. Unfortunately, I have no ability to make tacos.
Ariel, can you bring us some tacos?
Yeah. I will gladly pay you on Tuesday for a taco today.
So here's something funny that my brothers and I used to do. So I have 2 younger brothers. Well, I have 2 stepbrothers as well, but I have 2 brothers I grew up with. And my youngest brother and I, we would have this thing where we would lay out the VHSs. We were going to have a horror movie marathon. We'd never get through all of them. We'd lay out like 5 movies. We're going to watch these movies. And we would prepare a snack or a meal, depending on what part of the marathon it was. You know, if it was an appetizer, the most disgusting thing we could think of to go with the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, the grossest part we could think of in Nightmare on Elm Street was, like, the maggots in his arm.
Yeah.
So we made rice, but it was filled with, like, ketchup and little bits of mustard, and then we'd eat it to try to get the most experience out of our movie by grossing ourselves out with what we were eating. But, I don't know. Sometimes we made good stuff.
Yeah. It reminds me of a homicidal homemaker. She made, I think, some pudding or something for the Brain Dead movie. And I'm like, I bet that tastes amazing, but it just looks so gross because it makes me think of Brain Dead. I was like, ah.
Yeah, Brain Dead is gross. What's the nastiest movie you've ever seen?
That's one of them, but not the one.
Nastiest good movie. I'm not talking about movies like Night of Something Strange, because that's nasty, but I can't watch that. I mean, I've seen it, but...
The original... the first Human Centipede, I would say, is good and nasty.
Yeah, that's good and nasty.
The other two, are just nasty.
Can I tell them the story?
Huh.
Of your birthday?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I can?
Wait, what? What story?
Never mind. I'll have to ask him later on, because he probably won't let me tell him. We get really drunk.
No.
It's so funny.
You already outed me as a pony liker.
It would have been funny.
You could find where I rated ponies on my letterbox, alright? It's not bad, it ain't great.
You love your ponies. I gave them the reason why.
I know. No, I do like them. I like a lot of if I was a fanboy, though, of any cartoon, it'd be Turtles. But thankfully, Turtles doesn't have a stupid fanboy name.
You just don't like it when fandoms get names.
I don't like that, and I don't like it when people, like, overdo it. And
yeah.
They overdo it. So I don't want to be lumped into that. It's like, no.
Well, it's very bizarre because...
like a cartoon without
a lot of fandoms, and horror is not one of them. Like, I feel like the horror community is always great. You can always be welcomed in. We're always looking for new members. Mm-hmm. But there are some fandoms that are very intimidating, and they almost give you kind of like the gang, like, initiation thing. Mm-hmm. Some of those fandoms are Star Trek. No offense to Trekkies, but there are some hardcore Trekkies out there that are pretty intimidating. Star Wars has a pretty scary fandom sometimes.
I hate to say it, but the nerds, that's where their power is.
The horror one that comes to mind, though, and I'm not talking about your casual viewers. There's whole conventions around this. Is fucking Supernatural. Like, I love Supernatural, but I don't love Supernatural. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I love Supernatural, but I don't
We're not going to get the tattoos on our ribs and
stuff.
stuff.
God, I have friends who've gone to every convention, that, like, follow the conventions, that have met them multiple times, that can tell you the name of every single episode, that can quote whole episodes, that have the tattoos, that have, like, oh my God. It's intense. It's intense. And they kind of, a lot of them will kind of turn their nose up at casual viewers of Supernatural.
Yeah. I do, speaking of that, though, I love what's her name from Ginger Snaps, how she's, like, at the conventions, and she's, like, huge fangirl. I think that was hilarious.
But I do love Supernatural, but sometimes these fandoms, I get what you're saying, the fandoms become bigger than the art itself, almost. Mm-hmm.
Which, I love Rick and Morty, but that's becoming a problem these days, apparently.
Favorite slumber party movie? Bride of Chucky.
Slumber party movie? Slumber Party Massacre. Our first date.
Oh, yeah, our first date we watched that.
Well, our second date, I guess. Our first movie together.
I love H.P. Lovecraft. I would love more Lovecraftian horror films. Nick Hanna. Mm-hmm. Welcome, sir.
Speaking of gross but good, I liked the Call Girl of Cthulhu. I thought that was gross and good.
Ant Farm Dickhole sounds like the name of a band.
Is it?
It should be.
Ant Farm Dickhole.
If I didn't already have the name for my punk rock band, that would be it. My punk rock band name is Panty Grenade.
Panty Grenade.
It's because I fold my panties up into these tiny little, like, things, and then I throw them, and then they explode. I don't know. You explain it.
I have bands that I've been in that have never gone anywhere. Senseless Evil is my big project, if I ever did go anywhere. But I also had the Doif Tones, and where we kind of dressed up on weird costumes. But my favorite idea that I never actually did, but I want to start a band called Lost Cat, and we would open for Garage Sale and Babysitter Wanted.
I have to agree, Sandra. Stephen King fans are pretty awesome, but I'm not talking about the casual fans. Like, I am a fan of Stephen King. I've read a lot of his work, but yeah, there are a group of Stephen King fans where if you don't know, like, every single line.
Did you know that the demon in such movie is also in the tower, and it only appears this way, and the turtle created the... I love Stephen King. I just finished reading Under the Dome. It took me a while to finally get around to reading it. I just finished it. I guess there's a TV show. I need to go check it out. I liked Under the Dome.
It's the Dark Tower ones that I think are the hardest to talk to.
Yeah, the Dark Tower ones, because they loop in. I reread Tommy Knockers. I read that a long time ago, but I read it again recently, and I forgot that Pennywise makes an appearance in that book. So,
for you guys in the chat, what fandom have you encountered that is the most frustrating? Another one, and again, don't misjudge me here. I love people who love this. I love the show, but Rick and Morty fans are intense.
That's what I was saying earlier. That's becoming a problem.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty fans. I love the show, but me and Lols went as Rick and Morty for Halloween. It's great, but I've seen some videos lately. It's like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
What experiences have you had with fandoms that were a little too intense? Also, what's up with the fandom with Nightmare Before Christmas? Like, that has a massive following. Like, they own, like, a whole aisle during Halloween.
Yeah, I like the Nightmare Before Christmas, but damn.
I do. Also,
there's some people who swim in that day and night.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Chris Sarandon from Fright Night and Child's Play is the voice of Jack Skellington.
Mm-hmm.
He's like my big horror crush right there. God, that man. Ugh.
They haven't had their wrath out lately, but back when the 97 Godzilla movie came out, some Godzilla fanboys were upset. And I agree that the 97 Godzilla movie sucked.
I mean, I have to understand her degree, because I am a pretty obsessive fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I kind of get it.
Szechuan
Are you
sauce.
guys a fan of any big fandoms that you feel that your fandom is approaching scary levels yet?
Sandra is mentioning the Marvel fans.
The Marvel fans are
Oh,
intense.
I love Deadpool, but God, his fans can be annoying. You go to any convention, it doesn't even matter if it's a comic convention.
No.
At
Worse
Cryptic-con,
than Deadpool. Worse than Deadpool. Joker and Harley Quinn fans.
That's true. But we even had our own Deadpool here in our own little town who would run around. He wasn't much like Deadpool, though. He went around helping people, like mow their lawn and walk old ladies across the street with umbrellas and stuff. But still, we had
so weird.
We had our own Deadpool, and I felt bad because there was he had to quit doing it because people were getting a little rough trying to rip off his mask and stuff.
Yeah, but we had a real life superhero in town. I mean,
it was kind of when
he was our friendly neighborhood Deadpool. Like he said, he'd give people umbrellas when it rained. He'd help old ladies cross the street. He'd show up at games and cheer people on. He would offer to do yard work and stuff.
I almost asked him to help me take down my wrestling ring. I have
he would have
a
done
big old
it.
Wrestling ring. I did message him once, but I didn't ask him.
He needs to come to every single one of our roller derby games. He was so nice.
He was great. That was back when Kick-Ass was a big thing, and had in the movie Kick-Ass, he's like, I'm a hero for hire, and it was a bad idea, of course. But yeah, we had a Deadpool in town. So Deadpool fans could be annoying.
That was weird, but I loved it.
But he was great. I'm just saying that it's gotten that bad with some Deadpool. You go to conventions. We go to Cryptic-con, and there's usually a Deadpool. It's like, that's nothing to do with horror, but okay. But yes, there's Harley Quinn ones that go insane.
Hi, puppy.
There's usually a Harley Quinn at any convention. I've seen it was cool, but that shows you how it goes. There's a Harley Quinn / Boba Fett cosplayer once. It was half Boba Fett, half Harley Quinn. That was cool. It is cool, but it's an idea of how people are getting carried away with Harley Quinn and Boba Fett as well. But
bye, Brian. Again, guys, check out Brian Barnes. He's definitely in our top 5 favorite channels. We adore his channel. If you guys like our sense of humor, you're gonna love him.
Mm-hmm. So
he's like us, but just way cooler.
Way smoother about it.
Way smoother.
He
I mean, seriously, when we go to conventions, people are like, "Oh, they're them horror addicts." They're all right. When Reaper shows up, he's got the ladies.
He covers movies that most of you haven't heard of, and maybe that's why you haven't found him. But check him out. You will learn a thing or two and be entertained while doing so.
You will. He's a massive nerd, massive production value, and really fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad are the two shows where if you haven't seen them yet, people act like there's something wrong with you. I haven't seen them just because I haven't gotten to them yet, and I don't have cable.
Yeah. I've been really meaning to watch Breaking Bad now that I think it's ended, right? And I've been waiting for Game of Thrones to end before I watch it as well.
It's not that I have anything against it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Because I'm probably just going to binge watch all in like one weekend one of these days.
And unfortunately, it's like every time I get ready to do so, then it's like, oh, well, now there's another American Horror Story.
And it's intimidating to start. It's intimidating to start from the beginning of a show that's been going on for years. Like, I can imagine it'd be that way with Supernatural. I've seen 10 seasons of the show. I'm behind, but I'm not. I've seen the show at least. I don't start from the beginning.
Seen most of it.
Yeah. Because I've been following it from the beginning, it's easy for me to keep up on it. But something like Game of Thrones, where it's a big deal, and I haven't seen any of it, I haven't even seen one episode, that's kind of an undertaking to be like, all right, I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. This is my Breaking Bad weekend, you know? So, and usually I'll be like, oh, well, Scream Queens only has 6 episodes in the season I haven't seen. I'll watch that.
Though, even though I don't watch it, my grandparents, that's how, like, out of control about fans are. My grandparents are huge Game of Thrones fans. And they'll like, hey, guess what happened in Game of Thrones last week? And then like they'll tell me, and I'm like,
my mother is the same way with Game of Thrones. What is up with that?
All right, I haven't watched any yet, but okay, I'm glad that happened.
Game of Thrones made me cry. I'm like, do you want me to beat it up? She's like, no, it was beautiful. I'm like, I don't get what this conversation is going.
And no offense if any of you are not wrestling fans, but there's a funny, hilarious meme that I like, and as a wrestler, it really does like strike to me because I love Walking Dead. I do. But there's this hilarious meme where John Cena says, oh, Walking Dead made you cry. You know it's fake, right? And as a wrestler who has been told that wrestling is fake and been injured a few times in the ring.
I have to ask Mr. Violator, as a huge fan of American Horror Story, I have only seen up to the end of Hotel. I haven't seen Roanoke yet, or Roanoke, however you pronounce it. I haven't seen that season yet. Why isn't it good? Because I've heard mixed things on it. So I'd love to hear your take on it without any spoilers, please. Yep. Last Jedi, I feel, has been very polarizing. There are people who are like, yes, I loved it. And there are people who said that like it broke their little Star Wars heart. So I guess we'll just have to decide for ourselves.
Yeah, we haven't seen The Last Jedi yet. We've seen every other Star Wars movie. To me, it looks okay.
I have to agree with that Entertainment Wizard that Scream Season 3 getting a new cast is a strange move.
Yeah, though, I don't know. I mean, after the Halloween Island episode, thing, 2-parter Halloween thing.
That was fun, but yeah, they have a completely new cast.
Yeah.
Which is like, you've built up these characters, you've built up this storyline, and now we have to be introduced to new characters, and I don't know, that just, to me, that's like getting involved in another show. You might as well just make another show.
It might as well be, but
if it doesn't have the same cast, it's a different show.
Granted, it's stealing the name of a movie that doesn't have a cast or a plot of.
Well, the show already had very little to do with the show, the movie anyway.
That's the only reason why I think it's kind of work. I think at this point, I mean, I don't know why they went with season 2 with the same cast if that was their plan, but it's almost like it reminds me of Halloween, where Halloween 1 and 2 were the same, but then Halloween 3 is like, oh, here's something completely different, movie-wise. But I think that's maybe what they're gonna go with on that. We haven't finished Scream Queens Season 2, but we just started it, and we can kind of see why a lot of people hate it.
It's a little over the top.
I'm enjoying it, but probably for a lot of the wrong reasons.
Actually, we had on our schedule that we were going to do our top 20 of 2017 last week, but we're a little behind, so we're actually going to film it this weekend, and you'll see our best of 2017 and our most anticipated of 2018 this next week. So if you haven't already, ring that little bell, and then you'll be notified as soon as that video goes up.
Yes.
I'm also working on a Friday Night review, like I said. We've got an unboxing. We've got Mom and Dad coming up. Mm-hmm. We've got Lemon Tree Passage, Norai, The Curse. Lots of great stuff. So if you guys haven't, ring that subscriber bell, and then you guys can be notified as soon as the videos are up.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
I don't know that. I don't understand.
Giving you a quick thing without giving you too much spoilers, but it's bad.
What?
Of American Horror Story.
Oh, it's bad? Oh, it's like a reality show. Sorry, we're reading a comment. We're like, oh, what's this?
Sometimes Got to backtrack.
Sometimes our
What did we
attention
ask a
spans
second
are
ago?
not good.
Yeah, so far, the movies I've seen of 2018 haven't been great.
2018, we watched. Well, we saw Before I Wake like
A
2
long
years
time
ago.
ago.
So
and
does it feel
it's
like
okay.
2018?
It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's good.
The Devil's Gate was pretty good.
That was a surprise. Like, it's not amazing, but
and we
it's
saw,
a lot different than what I thought. It was pretty good.
And we saw Day of the Dead Bloodline, which
And that
sucked.
And we watched Open House last night, which
I didn't like it.
I'd give it a skip it. Not a hard skip it, but a skip it.
I felt like the whole thing was build up and no payoff, but it's just my opinion.
Pretty anticlimactic ending is all I can say about Open
I
House.
can't wait to see Narai. It was actually recommended by one of our horror family on Patreon, so I'm really excited because he's been suggesting some great movies for me to watch.
I haven't watched it yet, and it's not horror, but I'm looking forward to watching Bright. I don't know if it's good or not.
Entertainment Wizard, I love you, man, but that's blasphemy. That is blasphemy. You do not remake Scream.
I hope they
The
don't.
TV show was enough. No. They're talking about remaking The Craft. Have you guys seen the trailer for Heathers? It looks like complete garbage. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They will, though. I mean, they won't fix it, but they'll remake it.
Oh, they're going ahead with this fucking Heathers thing, and they need to, I don't know. I just hope I'm dead before there's a Craft remake.
And I wouldn't be opposed to a Gremlins 3, but don't remake it with CGI Gremlins. Don't do that. There's a lot of things I just hope I never see. I'm sure they'll eventually do it, but I hope I'm gone before they do it.
Well, I have finished off my wine, and I'm madly craving some tacos.
Which we don't have. But
We're gonna go find some fucking tacos.
I can make a cheeseburger.
Tacos. Your grandparents got taco fixings.
No, they don't.
God damn it. Sell
Hey.
my soul for a taco.
Maybe they do.
Seriously, let's go raid their fridge.
Raid their fridge for taco fixins?
Yes.
It's possible. They might have some.
Alright, well, we need to get some. Not my Heather. Zachary, you just get me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You just get me. So we need to go get some tacos, guys. It has been awesome chatting horror with you, answering your questions. I love you guys.
We love you.
We want to do what we can to support your channels, and we really appreciate you guys supporting our channel. So thank you for checking out the stream, and our next stream will be on the 29th. We actually are going to do a Patreon movie night for our Patreons at 6 p.m., and then at 9 p.m., Danny and I are going to talk horror trends.
That will be a lot of fun. We mentioned out a lot of shout-outs to people who are in and not in our chat tonight that we want you to go check out. But, hey, always do yourself a favor. You see somebody in a chat, click on their thing. See if they got videos.
We recommend Entertainment Wizard. Again, Brian Barnes, Screaming Soup. Seriously, just if you go to our featured channels, everybody there's gold. So check that out. And if you follow me on Twitter, I've been promoting a lot of great channels on there too. So hopefully you guys will do that. And again, thank you guys so much for your support. We just love talking to you guys. And we appreciate you guys watching our videos and just everything. All the supports, the thumbs up, the love. We have been very fortunate that we've had a great community to be a part of. So
even if this is you're ghosting us and you're watching, if this is your first video, thank you.
So thank you guys, and we will be back soon with another video.
To another at least 3 years.
Good night.